once the started now. So we're going on now. So my name is Aro Leonard. For those of us who don't know, uh, um, I train broadcasters, I train communications people, NGO people, anybody. I like working with the younger ones, the older ones, like some of my friends who are here. We are too stubborn. So I like to work with the younger ones and bring them. Hope everybody can hear me clearly. You can hear me say something. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thanks a lot. So this is just an interactive session with me, just sharing some of my experience. In my previous life, now we are not young anymore. We are not able to do some of the crazy things we used to do in those days. So unfortunately, also, a lot of stations these days there is no capacity building per se. There's no proper capacity building happening right now. You don't have people, you put in a station, puts out vacancy, employs people, and that's it. Nobody bothers about how do you build people, what do you do? Everybody copies what they see on air. So now we have TV and radio stations that sound really boring. The same thing. Everybody does the same newspaper review. Bring some ugly politicians, to fill our airspace. Is that what we need? Is that what we need to grow? What about development? What is it that we are learning from watching those politics we do every day? Is it really helping us? That's one. Two, the messages we want to pass, are we passing them well? Each time you come is discussion program. One person talking, the other person asking questions. Are there other things we could do to make it really exciting? In my previous life, working at BBC Media Action, I used to be the producer of a radio program called Flavor. If you know the radio program called Flavor, that was about HIV and AIDS with Okechukwu and Matilda, just send one emoji there. Let's know that you know that show. Send an emoji if you know the radio program called Flavor. Okay. Now, it was about HIV and AIDS. Now, naturally, HIV and AIDS is not something, it's not sexy. It's not something you want to, it's not something you want to be close to. It's not something you want to listen to. That's one. Two, it was a health program, health. Now, when you hear health program on any radio or TV station, it's usually very boring. In fact, I remember training stations. If you are from Benue and Nasarawa, I'm talking to you, especially. And health program, they'll just come, introduce the doctor. The presenter will just say, today we want to talk about diabetes, and we have Dr. So and so here with us today. Doctor, fire on. And for the next 30 minutes, a doctor will be speaking jargons to people. How can you understand it? Today now, this is January. Tax law was announced long ago. Until today, if I ask all of you here, which of you truly understands it fully well? Only a few people will be able to confidently say, yes, we know everything about it. And we had radio and TV stations. Nigeria has one of the most diverse and plural broadcast industry in the world. We don't usually celebrate ourselves. We have one of the most diverse media in the world. And when we talk about all this caging of media, press freedom and all that, we have it in Nigeria. In case we don't know, there is no state-based, state-funded, state law that is like censorship. When we talk about the NBC code was set up by broadcasters. We saw the adverts now asking for inputs. So it's not some government sat down in some place and decided to say, oh, this is right, this is not right, and all that. But despite that, there's a lot of freedom. There's opportunity to grow. But why are we not growing? Why, when you tune from one station to the other, why do we keep seeing the same thing? On New Year Day, I woke up and I tuned my, what's it called? TV on. Guess what? I had to leave all my Nigerian stations and I started watching China. You can imagine that. A country that has their own year, that has their own everything. And I was watching some exciting things about the new year happening all over the world. What was I seeing on my TV stations? And I can mention them. They know. I tell them directly. I sent them message. Channels was giving us some politics here and there. Some others, AIT, the same thing, politics and security. Nothing about the excitement of the season to help us. Even if you want to talk about security, you put it inside that excitement to make it interesting, so that we won't just be, the country had enough. So I tune TV station to see something exciting, and what I'm seeing is the same politician that is giving me headache. Not fair. We're not doing well. And that is why I said, let me do this thing. This period is a very tight period for me, very busy period for me. But I say, let this session go on today. Please, let us not start 2026 like the way we did other years. Please, we could do better. So what are some of the things we could do? And those are some of the things I would like to share with us today. So like I said, you could stop us at any time to ask questions. You could make comments at any time. Just put that your hand up and you'll be signaled to unmute your mic. And whatever experience you also have, whatever thing you could share, you also do. But before we will think about producing creative programs, we need to first understand how to produce programs, which is one of the things that is lacking. New stations pop up every day. How many of us, if you know that you got a job in a station recently and the station organized a training for you on how to produce programs creatively, please send an emoji and type that name of the station so that I'll go comment that station, especially the young ones. If you know that happened to you, you got a job recently and a station did that for you, send an emoji, put an emoji there and type the name of the station also. Let's comment that station. It's hardly ever done anywhere. Debbie, you're now a contract staff with NTA. Has anybody done that for you? It's not done. So a new station starts, they just look at the existing stations, boring us with politicians, and they believe that that is how radio TV should be. Once upon a time, there was a program called Flavor. Once upon a time, even till today, there's still Sonny Rabol Live. The same interview kind of program, but done with some kind of excitement, humor, music. Sonny Rabol is 70-something years old, one of my idols. Listening to him on radio in those days, that was where some of the slangs that unite Nigeria came out from, with the Zachary Mohammeds, the Mani Onomonu. There's the, what's his name? Sheyi Martins, who came into our behind the scenes, 60-something-year-old man bumped into our behind the scenes live event in Lagos 2 years ago. I was shocked. He came in with Funky, with Cap, and was sharing what they were doing on radio back then when Radio Nigeria started. We're pioneer staff. There is this veteran that shares sports reporting. I shared some of his posts and how he creatively uses terminologies and all those to make the sports reporting exciting, Today, what do we see in sports is yes, 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 no, 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 Man U, Arsenal, that's all. Telling us results that we already see, or arguing, making analysis that don't even make sense. Stations don't take these things seriously. And then they will now complain that no adverts, no this. Why would I watch you when it's not exciting? Look at the people selling stuff online. Temu now comes up with those their skits that they used to sell their stuff. And that attracts people to them, and people go there. Mackenzie is going to do a training soon on some of the things he does. Why would skit producers be making those billions of naira online with content when they don't even know how to produce content? They don't have the skills per se. They just put anything, they make a lot of money, and we, the professionals, in quotes, can't make 10 kobo from our content because they are not creative and they are not exciting. Simple. Simple. Now, let me say this. A couple of years ago, in my role as head of media development at BBC Media Action, then I was responsible for like 80% of media training in Nigeria. So whatever I say with authority. I know every station in Nigeria. I've been everywhere, trained from the management to the smallest level. And within this period, I was analyzing the Nigerian media environment. A couple of years back, in 2018, thereabout, statistics came. Before then, Nigeria used to be known as the happiest nation in the world. Fela sang it, suffering and smiling. No matter how he bad rich, we'll go still crack joke on top, turn out to humor. That's the Nigerian nation. Then all of a sudden, in 2018, a report came out, and Nigeria was ranked 100 and something among the happiest nations. That means we're one of the angriest nations in the world. And when I checked it, I got to find out that in 2014, we had more state-owned stations than private-owned stations. But by 2018, the number of private-owned stations was now double that of state-owned stations. At that same time, training dwindled, training stopped. So they take anybody they put on air. So everybody now does this morning program, talking about politics and people phoning. You don't do enough research. You just come. Wike said this. What do you think? Once the first caller comes and gets angry about the situation, everybody follows suit. And that anger gets into the society. You enter a cab. The driver is already angry from listening to those kind of stuff on on the radio or watching on TV, and before he says something, he's angry at you. But guess what? Recently, a new report came out. We are now ranked number 3. Who can tell me why that happened? Anybody? Unmute yourself and you speak. We are ranked number 3. That means we are now back to being one of the happiest nations in the world. Why? Anybody? Maria, you want to speak? Yes, go on. Say your name and say what you want to say.
Hello, good morning. I am Maria. I think because we now have content creators, those funny guys on the internet, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's it. The other guy, you want to say something? Someone else wanted to say something? Someone unmute himself just now. Okay, you don't want to say again. And that is it. Because we now have content creators. Everybody's now content creators. You go for wedding. Some people don't even invite cameramen anymore. I was doing video coverage to survive in those days. That's what I used to fund my master's in school. Now they don't invite video cameramen anymore to come do video coverage. They'll bring on content creator and they just post something on social media and that's it. Now every station comes up. One of my stations that I have to revive is called Groove FM. Went off air a little bit. I guess some of them should be here. They are back on now. They just came on now, and I've been watching some exciting skits they've been putting on their page, you know. So a lot of stations do it, broadcasters do it now to promote themselves. That's the reason. But guess what? It's the content creators taking your money now, taking your job, taking everything. You are more popular than them. I don't know if Ifeanyi Radiocast has joined us. Radiocast is posting 30 most influential male and female presenters now. They are all liking, they are all hyping themselves. Now, many of all those guys did not get that popular. A few did that I know, but most on that list were not popular because of the content of their production. They were popular because of social media things they post online. Why can't we be popular, make money, get excitement from our regular programs? That's your political program, that's your health program, that's your food program, that's your children's program, that's your sports program. Why can't we be popular producing programs that actually help grow us, build us, keep us healthy, improve the economy, help put our politicians in check? Why can't we do that? That's the question we want to answer today. Okay, so first of all, we'll go back to just having, I'll share a slide now. We'll go back to just saying how we can produce this program. A few tips, things about producing a proper program. And that is where it's missing. Because we've not known how to produce programs properly, we've not been able to know how to infuse that creativity, because stations don't train on this. You don't invite us. Even when we do these free trainings, I sent this to GMs all over Nigeria. This message was seen by a minimum of about 12 to 15,000 people. 70% of those are broadcasters. There are a couple of GMs here. I've seen ID James and co. Yeah. Where are your people? Where are they? GMs, 250 GMs got this message. Where are your people today? We have just about 40 people hooked on here and a couple here with us live. Where are they? And you want to generate revenue? You want to make Nigerians happy as the politicians are dealing with us? You know, you want to be able to solve security problem that affects us, and you want to do it in a boring way, and you think you don't know that a criminal can see a kidnapper can see one exciting thing you did and allow you and just change his life and become born again. They won't even watch because it's boring. So if it's boring and they don't watch, how would we change? Okay, so let me share this slide with us. Okay. If you can see the slide, I'm not going to turn it into a full PowerPoint. So if we can see what is on the screen now, let me know. Just send any emoji that you can see it clearly. Yeah? You don't need to see it fully, but so far you can see it. Now, what I have here is all aspects of life. Sports, food, you see a plate of food there. You see all the political parties. You see mobile police there, that's security. You see those children there, that represents education. You see health there. Everything. When you apply for a job, they'll ask you, why do you want to, especially media people, they'll come and say, I have passion for the job. So we'll come and say, I have flair. You come and sit in front of me, I will chase you away. You're all here because of money. You're applying for a job because you want money, right? You want to live a better life. You want something good, right? I use solar in my house. So when they take light, I don't know. But many of our houses, you hardly have 4 hours power. You're editing on Adobe Audition, and before you know, you have a deadline and light goes off. You don't even have money to buy. I pass my neighbor generator anymore these days. And you're stuck. You've lost a lot of money, a lot of stress. Stations now go off air because they can't buy diesel. Meanwhile, I set up radio and TV stations, and there are better ways to set up stations. Most of our stations today are still set up in an economically draining way. So if you are here, you know anybody wants to set up station, as you are receiving this free training, tell them to reach me. You can go do the deal and bring it to us. You get your share. Okay. Now, all aspects of life is dependent on what you do as a broadcaster. Either those of you that are fully broadcasters now, or those of you that are upcoming. And guess what? Because broadcasting today lives on social media, there's a young guy sitting here who's interested in IT stuff and does a lot of things online. That is the backbone today of broadcasting. Okay? That's the backbone. It's not those terrestrial things we used to do. It is ICT that is the backbone of broadcasting. And I knew that long ago. And it's shocking that till today, our stations have not embraced this. In 2003, I produced a program and presented a program called Campus Life on Aro Radio. That program, unlike other Campus Life programs in Nigeria, was ICT driven. We were teaching students how to download Skype, how to use MP3. That program, a young student, is now a big boy in Lagos, very big boy. Kunle, Adejumo. I always talk about him, was a 200 level student of ABU. ABU was on a 2-year strike then, and he used the strike to learn how to design websites. And he sent us an email that he would design a website for the Campus Live show, and he did. And that became the first website for any such kind of program in Nigeria. Would you believe that as far back as 2003, what this young Kunle guy did, a 200 level student, you could go on the website and listen to editions of Campus Live. Even though not full, we had to cut it in bits because of, compression rate and all that then. As at that time, only 2 Nigerian universities had websites. University of Lagos, functional. Unijust, my school, 1 page, not functional, So if you Googled any Nigerian university those years, it will take you to the Campus Live website. And people were looking from all over the country. Then NBC, not the NBC of today. I invited the NBC people to join this session. I don't know if any of them is here. I'll still send them this recording. NBC had a newsletter. They reviewed programs across the country every quarter. And Campus Live was one of those they picked. There were Campus Live programs on all stations, but the one I was doing on Aro Radio was one they picked. I was doing that as a freelancer. Even the GM of the station did not know me. It was when he saw the thing on the magazine. Now I started the program. Who is this guy? That's how they now knew me. They now gave me ID card and started paying me 300 naira per program. You get it? That was a program. 2003 is how many years? 23 years ago. Why is it that today, with all the ICT, everything, AI will package your program for you, build your video? Welcome, Mr. Jaco. Our moderator just came. He's new in Abuja. He just got a new job in Abuja. And I'm sure they didn't train them on that creativity thing there when they did the training also. And some of them are also hooked up here. So that's what we want to share. So you take it back to the stations. Now, everything we do on air affects how we live our lives. So if you're looking for a job as a young person, it is what you do with your skill as a content person that can help you get that job. Honestly speaking, I've been old in this industry. Apart from the job I did before I gained admission to university, I worked for 4 years before I went into the university. I started working as far back as, see, I can tell you my life history. I finished secondary school 88. I started working in 1989. I did electrical work. I did bricklayer work. Then I now got job in video club in 1991, the first video club in Abuja. And that's what took me into the broadcast industry. Someone there, his name is Shima Adum, took me to NTA Channel 5 Abuja and put me on Young Arts. And that's how my career in broadcasting started, you know. And through the video club, I was doing video coverage and all those things. And during my NYSC, I had a camcorder of my own. You just finished service. I had a camcorder of my own from my 300 level in the university. I was doing back job and schooling, paying my school fees, paying other people's fees also. And I was using that camcorder to do video coverage. Now, that camcorder during my youth service was what I was using to produce NYSC beats on Channel 5. I film it, to edit everything on my own. I was using that camcorder to film everybody, anything happening in NYSC. I wanted to use it as my personal development, what do you call it? CD, right? CDS. And my file got missing somewhere and I got angry. And then I turned that thing into then we were second tier, just 2 tiers then in NYSC. Second tier, we only produced a 4-page newsletter. The first year produced the magazine, but I was second tier. So I turned this into a newsletter magazine of 36 pages. I've trained coppers and I've shown them at the NYSC TV here in Abuja. It's still here with me in my house till tomorrow. And the focus was on community development service, what I was doing on my own. And since then, I can tell you the truth, I'm an environmentalist, an environmental resources planner. That's my master's. I'm a water resource management expert. I was looking for an environment job, but it was because of these things I was doing creatively on my own with campus life and all that. I started that program after my master's degrees anyway. With campus life and all that, that got me the jobs, that got me into Internews Network, BBC, and all that. At Internews, I did not have to apply because I was doing something creative that they could see. They trained me during the All Africa Games, and I used the stadium to produce a report on HIV on the Clipper. And they felt it was very creative. And 2 weeks later, they offered me a job. Are you getting it? When the BBC was to start their HIV project, I was invited first as a resource person. Working at Internews, I was given the task to create a youth program about HIV and AIDS. But as at that time, in Nigeria, if you talk about sex on radio, they'll close down your station. It was not allowed. So I was asked to design a program that will talk about HIV and sex without anybody knowing. So we'll be talking about unemployment, it's going to HIV. We'll talk about giving gifts, it goes to HIV. Whatever, traveling abroad, anything. Anger management, it goes to HIV. How can you do that? It's by learning the skills of creativity, which we want to share with you today. And they are very simple things that we see every day. But because we've not set our minds to connect those dots, we don't believe it's possible. And I'll share that with you. It's my experience I'm sharing with you today. Okay? Now, having said all that, can we see what's on the screen? What's on the screen? What is that? Exactly. Who can read what they write there? What they wrote there?
Forget about those fake burger. This is the real burger, the best burger ever. The general overseer of all burgers, saving lives since 1759.
It's actually been saving lives long before then. Okay, they used that 1759 because of Guinness and all that. Now, this is something we had with us since, not so. But you see, yes, how someone created something out of it. Just by putting a few words there. That's the simple creativity. Did he manufacture that from outside? No. He used something around and just use words or something else to describe it, embellish it. So when I was doing campus life, I tagged the program on my own, Anything Can Happen Nigeria Limited. And guess what? See, why I'm mentioning this campus life is that I've had thousands of people tell me about all of now in BGM here, all your staff don't complain about me. Head of programs, all of you, they've complained. The same GMs today complained to me 10 years ago about their own head of programs and management. Now they are there. And you people are doing the same. You say, oh, my station is this. Oh, no equipment. Oh, no this in my station. They are very rigid. They are this. They are that. It is you that is the problem. I was in Aro Radio, a state station, FCT station. In fact, Cool FM then and others in this Abuja, young people in Abuja used to call it Aro Radio. But guess what? That was where I was doing my campus live. And Sunday, 5 p.m., a very unlucrative belt where nobody puts adverts. But the program was increased to 45 minutes because we were looking for where to put adverts, 30 adverts in 30 minutes on a program like that, an irrelevant program. Why? I tagged it, Anything Can Happen Nigeria Limited. So no matter what happens anywhere, I knew how to convert it and put it on the program. And it's 5 p.m. Then Eimba the rain. Eimba plays their matches Sunday 5 p.m. They were champions of Africa then. Premiership is by that time also. But I make sure nobody leaves my program to go watch any match because I'll be talking about the match as the program is going on. That's simple creativity. You just pick any little thing around you. You walk along the street every day. Some of you OAPs, especially those of you in Lagos, forming big boys, and you don't have 10 kobo in your pocket, you'll be entering Uber and Bolt every time. Enter public transport. Enter public transport. My driver is usually shocked when I'll leave him there and I'll go and take public transport. He's wondering, say, why are you doing this? That is where you interact with society. You see things that happen every day and you turn it into something creative. So I'll take this burger, this bread and akara, and I'll use it to talk about security. I will take this bread and akara, and I will use it to talk about Wike and River State politics. So instead of you showing me the picture of the ugly politicians that I don't like to see, how many of them handsome where you know, we don't get Donald Duke again for politics. And then the talks. And the talks, those talks that are the same rhetorics over and over again. Each time you will come, your title is Security Challenges in Nigeria. On the tire, Security Challenges in Nigeria. If you keep repeating that same topic, it means your program is not doing anything to change it. There's a good friend of mine, I don't know if he has logged in yet. His name is Undubisi Ipiaga in Radio Nigeria, one of the most stubborn presenters in Radio Nigeria. And we did training for them way back 2011, 12 or thereabout. And told him how you can put music inside this your security program, put skits, put something creative, use some scenarios, things that make it exciting, put humor. He was doing security program on Radio Nigeria. And this guy did it at first. His guy say, what? Go ahead. Don't even wait for them. Just put it there. Let them see the excitement. That security program that is supposed to be boring now got full sponsorship. It was on Capital FM then. And network, as the thing got sponsored, network now carried the program to network. But at first, They will come and tell you, this program is supposed to be like this. For instance, to read network news, you have to dress in a certain way, pose in a certain way, and then you use some language that nobody in the street uses, stated. See the way it even sound, STA. There are some words, we were not good for English, but there are some words that even the person who is good in English struggles to pronounce, stated. What can stop you from saying, he said this? What stopped you from saying, were you on the streets yesterday? If you were, did you notice XYZ? That's news. Then someone will come and begin to say, you know, Kanye, the FCT minister stated that he stated this when he visited the scene of the collapse. For goodness sake, who would want to listen to or watch that? Are you getting what I'm saying? These are things that happen around us. Now, I heard that some funny words, they've added more words, more Nigerian words into the Oxford Dictionary now. I have not gone to confirm. I just saw a post. Your buttocks, what do you call it in Nigeria? Yash, not be so? That they've added it there. We use Jacka,
Yes,
we use
they
all
did.
those things. He has confirmed it. That's Adekula Adejimo, is our programs, one of our programs manager of Kleverest Scenta, is there in Port Harcourt. Now, they did, but you, who is the Nigerian, who has the airspace, our local slangs we use are forbidden to use. The way we gist, the way we interact. And guess what? I mentioned the Sonny Rabo. Yes, then we were speaking more formal English in Nigeria, but they had a way of putting these things in way back then. So what happened to us now that we have more opportunities to make our shows more exciting and creative? When Sheyi Martin stormed into the Kleverest Scenta behind the scenes event in Lagos, the one we call Beauty Brains and what? Jackson, what do we call that one? That I can't remember. You know, when he stormed in there with his cap and jeans, 60-something years old man. Because when I was saying this, people did not understand. And now we told the people sitting there that those of them that were considered the bad boys of Radio Nigeria were the ones used to set up Radio Nigeria 2, RN2, the first FM station in Nigeria, on Martin Street, the same street where that fire incident happened and those buildings collapsed. That same street, that was where Radio Nigeria was. Who knows whether it was even in the building that even got burnt, you know. And he told them how they turned all these serious things into excitement. Then Radio Nigeria 2, a station they thought would die, became the toast of Nigeria. And then stations like Radio Rivers 2 followed suit in Port Harcourt. We had Peace FM, PRTV in Jos. With that excitement, I remember as a young student in Jos in 100 level, there's a guy called Hassan John. Hassan John had a program that we don't miss on Saturdays. He will collect all the creative adverts that went on radio, on PRTV, and air them on Saturday. We'll sit down listening to adverts one after the other. Do you know what that did? That made those advert organizations improve their adverts more so that they'll have the opportunity for him to give them extra play. And he made them to put more ads on the station and more money on the station. Creativity. Simple things happening around you. Are you getting? Bread and akara. What programs can you bring out of this? I was training at Nigeria Info in Port Harcourt. The GM there kidnapped me. I wasn't supposed to go there. I was there for something else. And says I must come train our staff, give her 2 hours. And I went in there. And there's a presenter there called Chinedu. I'll soon post that is Gemu, his beer. We use this beard to design a program on security. You wonder what's the relationship? That's some of the things I will share with us today. Just think, look around you. What is it that is happening? Bring that in. Use that to tell your story. You enter a vehicle, they are saying something. Pick something from it and see, how can I use this to connect and talk about an issue? So when I say today we want to talk about bread, the original burger in the world, bread and akara, everybody will tune in. We're all excited. But you know, no say, now politics I want to talk about. Are you getting what I'm saying? The tax law, for instance, everybody is confused. We don't know what it is. Why? Because we've been using big grammar to explain things to people. Just pick something around you that someone can relate with. It's as simple as that. And your creativity has begun. For each time you think about this, your IQ improves. Now, for many presenters, I see many of you, you check your English, you check your this. Once they make mistake on air, the whole world knows. I was doing campus live one day. Dr. Jack was the DCA. The mixer exploded. Boof! On air. Jesus! And he went on air. We continued the program. But today, presenters who are not very creative, who have not tuned their head enough, once there's a slight mistake, and unfortunately, many of you don't know how to read. I said it. Aro Leonard said it. Many of you don't know how to read. That's why you pick people's text messages and you read it and you stumble. Once you stumble, the whole world knows. There's nothing fun about it because you've caged yourself. In those days, we used to use CD. I was playing CD of one Slam. That was the musician then. And I put the CD in. And it started, you know how CD cracks. Many of them nowadays don't know those ones that they play on computer. Like that. And I gave myself volume back. And I say, yeah, that's slamming for you. And the show continued. Are you getting it? I used what just happened. And I turned it into stuff. And used it to continue my show. Exciting. Simple. This is 23 years ago. What's happening to us today? With all the skit people everywhere that we can pick from them if you don't even know how to. Just think about something that you would use. Okay? That's number one. So I'm going to give us, before I go on and talk about other things, I'm going to give us a few formula here. Okay, now let me stop sharing and just talk so you see my face well as I talk. Now, let me even do this. Let me pin this to the screen. And okay. All right. Now, listen and listen carefully to this formula that I'll give us for creativity and note it down and go practice it. The first formula is this. Every day when you wake up, every day between your bed and your station, your office, wherever you're going to, those of you who are at home, between your room and the kitchen, wherever you're going to, observe 5 things that happen. 5 every day. Make it a practice because you want to be creative. Mind you, creativity is actually not what they teach. I'm doing this training, but you don't teach creativity. Yeah? What we do with this training is that we bring you close to being creative. I talked about those programs, Flavor and all that in the BBC. And you will think everybody in the BBC is creative. Now lie, 99% are not creative. But because in the organization, a structure has been put in place, which is called the creative process, which most stations don't have, and which is what I'm sharing today, everybody appears to be creative. So you might be the dumbest person, but you follow some of these principles I'm sharing, you'll find out that you're going to be creative. Okay? So observe 5 things. That's the first thing. Every day, do it every day. Observe 5 things that's you come across. Anything. It could be just the curtain moving. It could be a sound you heard when you woke up. It could be something on TV, any 5 things. And then think of any problem in Nigeria. Think of the tax law that is just happening. Okay? That's some of the things these skit guys are doing that are using to collect your money. The advert that they should be giving you to produce, they are giving skit makers to produce today. Think of anything, that you observed. And then think of one problem facing Nigeria that, thank you, Adejimo, for doing that. Be summarizing and posting so that people can pick up some of these things. Think of 5 things and then think of what problem you could use any of those things to solve in Nigeria. I see electricity problem. It's just like I looked at Chinedu's beard in Nigeria Info in Port Harcourt. His game will long like that. It's not a trend. Everybody wants to keep that. And then I thought of using it to talk about security. Now, at first, this is how it works. At first, it's not going to connect. It's not going to make sense. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. It's not going to make sense. At first, not going to make sense. But I'm telling you, when I move to the other principles, you will now see how it makes sense. But think about it first. Let your brain begin to work. Begin to think. Begin to think. Begin to think. Let your brain be thinking first. That's the first step. A lot of presenters today can't think. And unfortunately, for those of you who don't know, that's part of the strategy of the devil. The devil doesn't want us to think. So he can make you to go and fall into any trap because you can't think strategically. For those of you who read your Bible, go read it well. It's there. I don't know about the Quran that much, but I'm telling you, when you check in the Quran, you will see it. You will see verses that tell you. You will see things like studying, to show yourself approved in the Bible. You will see things that make you to be proactive, to think, to be smart, be as wise as what? Serpent. You will see all those verses that tells you to think, to be creative. You'll see the one that says, what's that you have in your hand? Use it. And for those of you who don't know, that's where the name Kleverest came from. C is cleverer. We just removed the C and creatively turned it to K, so it's ours. So we own it. We own the trademark and the copyright. But what it actually stands for is what happened between David and Goliath. Using any little thing you have to make something wonderful. Then I was using this camcorder to film. People did not know that that small camcorder was clearer than that big VHS camera. So anytime I want to film, they will say, now this small thing, you want you stay famous. Some people would even not want to come, invite me, pay me to film. They will prefer to go pay someone else who has a VHS camera because they felt that one was clearer. Not knowing that that camcorder, now be waiting, transcend to now we have 6K, 8K, all that now. That was the beginning of the change. They're not just 9 clear pass. And that's how Kleverest Scenta came about, And I didn't have much. I was doing things myself. So I had to be able to use whatever I had to make things work. I was paying my way through school, paying my younger one's fees and all that. I had to survive. And so Kleverest stands for, so if you are in the Kleverest Scenta group and you are not able to look at whatever you have and see what you could use it to do to improve your life, and you're waiting for Dangote to come dash you money, or some of you in churches who are waiting for one elder to come and give you job or something, create something for yourself. Today, a lot of people reach out to me, you look up to me, all they know is the BBC. Oh, he was head of media development in BBC, worked in BBC for 14 years. That is all they know. But they don't know the Kleverest Scenta, which was existing. I put the company together in 1999. This Kleverest Scenta, They don't know that this is how we started, with little things, just being creative. And that's how God started opening doors for us. And I sit down today when I don't the old small. I lie down for bed, and people like Jackson, people like Oluwa Debbie, and so many other people just call me. They will arrange something for me to do. Are you getting why? Because I labored in the past with those little things that are around me. So if you want to be a good producer, good, look around you. What is it you have? Stop complaining about your station. Forget about your GM. Forget about your head of programs. You young guys in your house, forget about your parents. Your parents don't owe you anything anymore when you finish university. That's the truth. In fact, they should chase you to the house. Forget about them and think, what can I do? Then I no get phone, I no get anything. Nothing. I remember my first phone, Nokia 3310. Nothing. Okay? So, think of little things, then think of what you can connect it to. Then your brain begins to improve. You now have the ability to think each day. So when I do a training session, there are no two training sessions I do that are the same. Because each time as I'm talking, new ideas keep coming up. So if I'm producing a program, today, most of your program, what makes people don't watch your program? And I'll give an example. I'll give the example of Sunrise Daily on Channels TV. Before it was now moved and turned to Morning Brief. Now, guess what? In terms of bringing personalities, analyzing issues, dealing with it, that program is still one of the best doing that in the country till tomorrow. But why did the listenership drop? Because every day is the same thing. We sing that song in church. They are new every morning. Why can't our programs be new every morning? When I was doing Campus Live 23 years ago, no two editions sounded the same. No two editions started the same way. When we did Flavor, no two editions started the same way. No two were the same. Even if you want to do the same issue, you do it in a totally different way. So each day, your viewer, your listener is looking at something new. It's the same thing, but you just packaged it creatively, differently, and it's looking like new. Are you getting? They now changed it. They brought Morning Brief. Morning Brief is now turning to the same thing that Sunrise used to be. I'm using direct example. I don't belong to any station. I belong to everybody. Remember that Buhari slogan? I belong to nobody. I belong to everybody. That's me. I support every single station. Okay? I set up Darling FM in Owerri. I went to train another station in Owerri to compete with the same Darling FM that I set up in Owerri. That is me. So I share the same thing with everybody because the market is big enough for everybody, but we are just not doing what we should do. That's why we are suffering. That's the simple truth. Okay? So when you do this every day, your brain begins to work. That is the first rule of creativity. If you cannot think, you cannot be creative. It's not possible. You must be able to think to be creative. So if you don't exercise your thinking faculty, how can you be able to think? So do this every day. You will get stuck. The more you get stuck, the more you figure, okay, I could do it like this, I could do it like this, I could do it like this. Then you begin to improve. You begin to see new ways. Okay, if I talk about security with bread today, tomorrow, I will use, waiting. A lady is wearing one beautiful earring here. I'll use a hearing to talk about security. And you'll be shocked at what will come out of it. And the lalas will begin to come. Okay, so that's number one. Yeah? Number two, let me show us one slide. And before I do that, let me share this one. Let me share this one now. Since I'm talking about thinking, okay, can we see the screen? Can we see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, it's talking about critical thinking, which is what I just said. Now, let me do something. Something is showing there that is not supposed to show. Layout. blank. Yeah, okay, I've gotten that. Now we can see it clearly now. Now it's talking about critical thinking. Now, normally you don't do broadcast training using this kind of thing. When you go for a workshop like the one Jackson did in their new station that I just set up, they will come and teach you how to script, how to interview, how to, this is what a format is, this is what documentary is, this is, I mean, Fisher, this is documentary, this is that, this is news, this is blah, blah. Nobody will tell you something like this, which is the most important thing. But when you go for business, some business training, some other non-broadcast related training, they'll be training on critical thinking, management, and all that. We are still doing something else in broadcasting. See the things they wrote there about critical thinking. Can anybody read them clearly? Or let me just, so that we don't waste time. We lost a lot of time because people didn't come on time, first of all, before we had technical thing. The first thing there, said it helps to improve decision making. How important is decision making in broadcasting? How do you decide what angle to take this topic from? Where do I look at it from? Even when you're interviewing, how do you do what you do? What guest do I bring in? Why do I bring this guest? Why do I even pick this topic? Okay, someone wants to see. If you plug it there, if there's no light, it's not going to on. You look for any of the sockets. If you go down back there, you'll see a socket over there, an extension over there. You can use the extension. Okay. Some of the people here, as like no day Nigeria, we have to charge our phone when training is going on. Okay, sorry. So it helps in decision making as you think. The next one, it said, it enhances problem solving ability. Now look at it. Every day you bring topic, security situation in Nigeria. We've been doing that same topic for the past 10 years. They are still kidnapping people every blessed day. The politicians are still doing all the rubbish they are doing. Everything is still happening. What does that mean? It means that your programs lack problem-solving ability. And I'll share problems that I've solved producing programs over these years. Then when we talk about program production process, for those of you who studied mass comm in university, yeah, those ones, sometimes they believe they own the industry. So come and sit in front of me. Why do you want this job? I studied mass comm. So what? I studied environmental and resources planning. You've not been able to produce 1/10 of the creative things that are produced. Thank God government is now unbundling that department to make it more relevant to the industry. So they come into the station, they can't function because what was taught in the university does not even relate to what is on ground in the station. And the station is not ready to train them because stations don't even have the skills to train them. The consultants who help set up these stations are only there to collect the money from the owner. That's why some of them need to give us job because they know say Aro Leonard will tell the owner the truth. And let it go on record. Go and check the stations that have my hand in them in this country and see the difference. Okay? I don't make money from them, but see the difference. The station, they make money. But those ones, when consultants collect money, they pump everything, do everything. Where are they today? They won't teach you that. Okay? The next thing, for those of you who know production process, you say research, right? I'll ask them, how do you research? They just go in internet, go collect stuff. What does critical thinking do that it says here? It says it refines your research skills. Today now we have AI even in WhatsApp. It was my daughter when she was still in primary school, 7 years old then. She's in secondary school now. I didn't even know that there was AI in WhatsApp that I could use to ask questions because I give them my phone. For some of you who are parents, you keep your phones away from children, keep your remote controls away from children. That's why they spoil them for your house. If you're smart, That's the time where their brain works well. Teach them how to use it properly. They will use it properly, and they will show you things that you never knew. It was my 7-year-old daughter that told me that, Daddy, do you know that you can ask this WhatsApp questions and it will tell you the answer? I said, really? It's my 7-year-old daughter that told me that. So today now, with my training skills, invite me to train on any topic. I'll just go there, type a few things. Then when I take whatever the AI tells me and link it up with these local things, I become original. Some of you will go and copy AI and paste. See the news most of you read on most stations. You will just know that it's copy and paste. You go to internet, you pick something from newspaper. Now, my friend, I don't know if he's here. You know me, they like to yap there and mention them so that they go change. What's that his name? He's now GM of my station, Groove FM. I saw one of the things he posted. He shared the newspaper review. And newspaper, you know the way they write. They will say PDP, they will not put comma. You understand? Something, battle. Is that broadcast language? That's print language. Are you getting it? But that's what we do. We'll go, we copy. Now I'm going to they call research. You see something somewhere, just copy paste, and you come and read it on air. You don't research. We read newspapers, all the newspaper reviews in many stations. Go and look for old NTA tape. Go and look for it. It's not like that they were doing it. Oh. They will cut the paper. They will put it in one board. Camera will zoom on it. Some of our elders when they here, you will concur. They will not go and read it the way we are reading it, the headline. They will tell us what that headline is. And they will tell us the various papers you can find it. But what do? We will read it on Guardian. Read the same thing on Tribune. Read the same thing on, which one? Observer. I did mention holding these papers. Sketch. Some of them, I don't know, say those kind of papers there. Waste 1 hour that you could have used to creatively infuse a lot of things and make a lot of money. You get it? Someone wants to say something, right? But when you're able to think critically, you will know that, you go think now, the way they read this thing like this, you know, work now, you know, go sound well now. My listeners no go feel me. You understand? You think. It helps you to inform your research. So when you get those things, you say, okay, how best can I put it? What else can I ask AI to make me understand it better? Sometimes the AI will even ask you questions. Do you want us to expand on so? They will not even bother. They will just copy that one and go and read. But when you're able to think critically, it helps you. Adejimo, you want to say something? Your hand was up. And Jackson and Oluwadebi, please, you are the moderators. So if anybody wants to, you draw my attention to it because I won't see them. Okay. Adejimo, you had your hand up. You want to say something, Kule? Okay, doesn't want to say. So the next thing it says it polishes your creativity. Now, there are some of us born with natural creative skills, right? We are born with natural. I'm a creative person. For some of you who don't know, I used to rap. I used to do raga. I used to do those really fast rap and raga. You know, I compose songs. As at my 100 level, I had over 500 compositions. I go wonder why I never ever release any album. But that's a story for another day. Yeah. So it was that same skill I brought into the broadcast industry that made me turn things upside down. Yeah. So it polishes your creative skill. So I'm naturally creative. Now, the musicians, a lot of the skit makers are naturally creative, right? Some of people who are in theater departments, they are creatives. That's why they decided to say, I want to study theater arts. Not so. A lot of you broadcasters are creative. That's why you say, okay, I want to be a broadcaster. Not so. You, these ICT guys, a lot of you are creative. You know how to be creative with those tech skills. That's why you're doing that. Not so. But your ability to think critically makes you to refine that skill. Now, many musicians we have today cannot write songs properly because they can't think critically. And that lack of thinking also prevents them from thinking and knowing that they can actually ask somebody to help them. In many stations today, many broadcasters, I am the producer, author, and finisher, alpha and omega of my program. Nobody makes input. Even when someone wants to suggest something to you, you take it as criticism. Because you are not able to think critically, to get common sense that is not common to know. I can ask somebody to feed into this. I was the producer of Flavor. Yes, one person will point to one of the award there. Yes, I won award. Also, I won Nigeria Media Merit Award. I was producer of those HIV spots you saw on TV in those days. My name is Amina, I'm HIV positive. That was the largest HIV testimonial in the world. Yes, I won best HIV testimonial in the entire world in 2006 with that. Yes, I did all that because I was the producer. But anybody telling us, saying, me think of all those things, I had a team of people. Now, we did a session last year where I brought in coppers and all that, where some coppers who were with me years ago, shared their experiences and all that. We're talking about how to break into the industry, and we were sharing. When I was producing Flavor, sometimes I'll have like 14 young people, youth coppers and all that, in my house. In my parlor then, in area 10, there were no chairs. Now just rug with foam under. Everybody sits on the ground. Those are the guys that come with all those creative ideas. Some of you know Zeno, who is in New Central today. He was living close. He was in Reading then, Silverbird. We did a training and he said, hey, I want to learn more. And he started coming to my house with one guy who is here in this session right now, Royal Mind. Wally was the sound engineer in Reading. Zeno produced a lot of the intros for Flavor. We had people who were living positive with HIV doing attachment with us that brought in ideas. The drivers in my office, what you call drivers, we don't call them drivers. They were there, part of the team. In Benin 1 year, I missed something. The driver came and whispered in my ear. Remember in the brainstorm, we said, okay, Chuku should not say this word. Because when you're doing development programs like that, one single word can kill, wrong word can kill your entire message. Drivers. So the team, are you getting? When you're able to think critically, you will know where to look for help. You will know where to look for support. Then when you pack all those ideas together, you will not get the glory like I did. But I always recognize all of them till tomorrow. That's why all those coppers that were with me, they are still with me till today. There are a couple of coppers close to me. Some of them are online currently here now. I invited them to come to my house since last year. Only 3 of them have been here since then. You have an opportunity to come, be part of things, and learn how to improve your life, but they don't even take advantage of it. Why? Because they can't think critically to know that maybe some people will be thinking of, okay, to come here now for this training, transport. But when you can think critically, you know that, okay, if I come here, I could get XYZ that could help me with so, and make that money. That's what critical thinking does for you. And then finally, it says it stimulates curiosity. In 2010, we trained people. I remember my good friend, Angela, I don't know if she has logged in, from Supreme FM, Kaduna. I was glad at one of those development training workshop. I was one of the resource persons online. I couldn't travel to Kaduna because of bad road caused by you broadcasters not doing programs properly. And I was glad that Angela was part of the panel talking. But in 2010, after our training, Angela Okafor, that's her name, Supreme FM. She started a program on HIV. Since then, 2010 till today, that program is still on Supreme FM till today. A creative program sounding like Flavor. A lady, not guy, who did not even know how to use Adobe Audition, all those things very well, but learned in the process. You know, maybe because she has 3 sons, 3 boys that give her headache in the house always, that stimulates her creativity. But she did this. After the training, she went back and said I produced 4 programs on condom, stigma, 4 things, prevention. I don't know what to produce next. Then I asked her a simple question. Flavor and You're Taking It is the Hausa version of Flavor, which was the most listened to show in Nigeria. Then, it had a higher listenership than the BBC Hausa service itself. Now, and You're Taking It just means what's up for young people. And I asked her, Flavor and You're Taking It have been on air since 2005. The program ran from 2005 to 2012. They don't repeat. How many weeks do you have in a year? 50-something, not so. 50-something editions on the same HIV. What do they do? So when you think critically, you will be able to stimulate your curiosity. Okay, I have done this. What other angle can I look at it from? I have done this. What else can I do? Is there something that is missing? Are you getting that I could do? So you always come up. If you do, it's just like your project. I'll talk about it later if there's time. We are ending this at the time we said we will end. Remember when you do your project in school, at the end of your project, they will tell you you write, what's it called? Something recommendation for further studies. Not so. Most of you just write it. Yes. Most of you just do it for doing sake. It's project that I use to train people on creativity. Now, you just do it for doing sake. So if you produce a program today, and that is why we've been going round and round in circles, tomorrow, you will go and watch on your major station. The title will still be Security Issues in Nigeria. You know they ever finish. Why? Because our curiosity is not stimulated. So you are talking to a guest. Guest is talking. When program finish, you pack him, you keep him. That is all. We don't even go back to listen and find out, okay, this person mentioned this thing. And then build a totally different topic and different show on that angle and take it up. It becomes a new program entirely. But we don't. So you solve this program, you see that, oh, this thing is still there. You keep on solving problems one after the other. Your program starts making impact. Things start changing, not coming each time to repeat the same boring. And it's not even boring, it's annoying. Nigerians are angry each time they watch you. You keep repeating the same boring things over and over, and then you say no money. Then some of you who call out stations that don't pay salary. I'm not supporting, I know the stations that are dubious, who have issues. But the broadcast industry today is suffering. Many stations can't pay salary because they are not making that money. So I will ask you, is your program, are you making enough money on the program you put on air to pay your salary? If your program is not generating enough advert to pay your salary, you have no moral right to complain to your station management. I'm saying it boldly. I speak to station management bluntly. I speak to NBC bluntly. They all know me everywhere. I know they hide. And why I could do that is because in those 14 years in BBC Media Action and the 12 years I was head of that department, holding training in Nigeria, I was able to do a lot of things beyond what the organization was due for all the stations. I paid my dues, and I still do that till today. I thank God that Kleverest Scenta is still the foremost media development platform in Nigeria to today. We are not making money from it per se. We are making small money. But these trainings are free. They will continue to be free. When you want to do the advanced level, we'll collect money for you from now, but these basic trainings will continue to be free, especially for the young ones coming, as I give back to society. Okay? I have paid my dues. So I can talk to a management and say, you are doing this wrong. If you like, hate me. And I can talk to you, broadcaster, that this is where you're failing, because I know personally I have put this platform in place to help you grow, but you failed to use it. When you come and sit in front of me in an interview, I'll ask you all those questions also. Someone came for an interview somewhere in Owerri when we were setting up one news station, or Malicha. He came for the first day, was a production workshop. The second day, he didn't come because he felt I would not give him the job. I give you second, third chance, but I will tell you the truth and give you an opportunity to change. He didn't come the second day because he felt he had failed twice and he had guilty conscience. Please don't. Just repent and move on. We will support you again. Okay? So it helps you stimulate your curiosity. It helps you look at new angles to look at things, different ways to look at things. So you wear this your beautiful dress every day, and you never ever think that you can use this your dress to talk about health issues, to talk about security issues, to talk about education issues. And you come up and you now introduce program. It's a youth program, or they will now come and say, good morning, listener. In fact, some go put listeners. You are welcome to your favorite program, Youth Panorama. Youth Panorama is the program for the youth that talk about the issues of the youth today. Is that you that you are youth? Do you talk to your colleague and say, you youth? No. And you're wondering why they are not watching. And you say you are doing program for them. Because you can't even think. You can't even ask yourself, would they like this thing? Would it make sense to them? Is there a better way I could present this thing to them? We don't. Okay? Some broadcasters think that is to put the guys to put earring for here, dress in one kind of funky way. That's what makes you creative. There was someone in our office in the BBC. He was not very creative and he wanted to feel among. And so when he came in, the first thing he now did was to go put dreads in his hair. That is the creativity that should be. That's what you be. That's how you, you understand. But as organizations and as individuals, we just need to follow certain processes and they will make us to be creative. Okay? All right. So let me move to another slide. Simple thing again that I wanted to go to. Simple thing around us. Now, can we see this slide? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, one thing I need to tell you about broadcasting, I keep telling people, that's why I invite everybody, even those who are not broadcasters, to this kind of training. When you have the skill of producing programs, I'm telling you the truth, every aspect of your life becomes easy. Just like I established at the beginning. Every aspect. If you become a very creative and very good producer, you know how to manage your finances very well. For those of you, when they find boyfriend and girlfriend, you know how to manage your relationships very well. I'm telling you the truth. When your Bible tells you to live in peace with all men, now program production skill go make you do that. Because now that skill go know say, if somebody mash my leg, when you think critically, you go know say, I can turn this leg matching into something else. Rather than fighting that person that does not lead to anything productive. Okay? So now I'm going to give us another set of formulas. Now, when you want to produce, now it's the same thing. For those of you who have businesses, you are not in broadcasting. Several people left the Kleverest Scenta WhatsApp group when they now got jobs in other sectors because their station couldn't pay them. And the admin asked them, why did you leave? Any reason? They said, I'm no more in broadcasting. So your lack of critical thinking makes you to limit such kind of trainings and activities to just broadcasting and producing programs. The skit makers, which broadcasting they do? You have business, all of them I guess side also. Now everybody they produce YouTube, small, I mean jingles and stuff they put. You they promote yourself, right? You won't go for interview. They tell you, say, tell me about you. You know, saying that this skill will make you know how to summarize and say the exact thing that will fit into that role that will make them. And for those of you who don't know, that's where we decide who we want to take. Your ability within a short time to sell yourself. And it's this skill that you will use in any sector you go to. That is why go check it. Top skills in the world. After blockchain and all these ICT things that these guys do, what's the next thing they write? It's communication. When you're not able to communicate anything, you are done. You are gone. That is why each time our federal FG, what do they call them? All those press, what do they call them? Press officers, all those, no, press officers of government and all those people. Okay. We had the, who is the Bayo Nonu guy is there now. My Oga Bayo is there now. We've had, what will be their name? Additional, all those kind of people. This other Hausa guy and all that. Have you noticed that? You know, that one a minister. I'm talking about the people, the journalists who are given the job to be writing and releasing press releases. Okay. So when the government does a mistake, it is these people that are supposed to come and release something that will make us calm down for government. But have you noticed that each time they release those, they are secular and whatever, it causes more problems. It gets us more angry. It's simply because they lack this creative program production skill. If you are close to any politician, unfortunately, it's the print guys they see more. The print guys are closer to the politicians, so they get the appointments. Broadcasters, only few of us get such appointments. And these print guys cannot write a normal the way we communicate normally, like broadcasters would do. So each time they put up all these things, it causes more problem. In fact, during the last regime, that one was terrible. One government official will post this one, the next person will now have to post another one to counter it. It's terrible. Tell politicians, employ broadcasters to take that role, and you'll see. And also, print guys are more detached from the society. Broadcasters receive callers every day. You interact more with the society. Some broadcasters are the same hype men in clubs. You know, they invite you to do MC work and all those. NGOs invite you to do stuff with them. All those interaction. And the second thing is that the broadcasters are poorer. They are poorly paid. So they have to jump Okada and Keke and trek. All those interactions help you to know how to relate with people. You understand? So tell them to employ us, but it's these same skills that we're talking about. So now this next set of formula I want to share. At the extreme here, it says lifestyle. So if you're producing any content, that content you're producing, no matter what it is, has to represent the lifestyle of the target audience that you're producing it for. Are you getting? So we have a situation where station in Benue, in Otukpo is now a city. In those days when we were training them at Joy FM, it was a village. Or in Ikom, one of our resource person in Kleverest Scenta, Nyongo, who used to be in Plus TV. That was where we met him at CRBC, Ikom. Ikom is just by the border with Cameroon. There, computers have nothing, they don't know. Like I said, I've shared this story before in other sessions. But Yongo, this same Yongo produced a huge show, connected it with agriculture, used it to talk about HIV, different things. became very popular because of that youth show, had to be invited to do attachment with the BBC. You know, it's one of our resource persons from that place. Now, you can imagine someone in Ikom or Tupo, you know, even Lafia then was a was a village for trained people. In some of all these remote places, Burning Kebbi, Jalingo, you know, and because they see someone does something on a station in Lagos, now feels that that thing would apply, or even my guys in Warri, that thing would apply with those in that place, because you feel the stations in Lagos are the ones to look up to. Say that the Lagos people know something past. I am telling you, in case you don't know, Lagos people fool this session. Some of the dumbest broadcasters we have are in Lagos. I can tell you that for sure. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. Play music and just talk and come on. That is all. Show me your content and show me how creative. Yes, some of the best ones also are in Lagos. Also. But some of the dumbest are in Lagos. So when you just look at anything Lagos, say because it's Lagos, Naim, does it apply to you in Otupo, the lifestyle of the people in Otupo? Does it? Do you think that if that Hausa gospel artist that changed that Salem song to Hausa, do you think that if some people don't know, go watch his interview. That guy was a reggae musician singing reggae and all that until God opened his eyes to sing in a way that the people around him can understand and relate to it. Nigeria millions come from. So you are there wasting your time producing programs that the people are not connecting to. Nigeria is a very large country. So when we're producing programs and traveling around the country, that's when I discovered that if you say you want to reach grassroots and you want to do programs in Pidgin, that you want to reach grassroots in Yoruba land and in Hausa land in the north, you don't waste your time. Because after Yoruba, now correct English, not be Pidgin. After Hausa, now correct English. Then when you go down south to Cross River State, people don't know that the best English in Nigeria is spoken in Cross River. Yes. Go check the people from Cross River, how they speak. Hear their voice, hear their sound. Aye Enshaw, Elimbasi, my former colleague, my madam. For those of you who are here, our plot is close by. I'm praying for her to come to finish it and move close by. For those of you who don't know, Elimbasi was the lady pioneer power staff that started straight from the arts. You know, far older than me, but my colleague. I was a line manager in the BBC, but someone I respect so much. Yeah, English, clean. So when you go there and you say you want to begin to do Pidgin English program, do you think it will connect with them? No, give them their correct English. Calabar is paradise. Yeah? Are you getting what I'm saying? But when you now go to those of us from Efono in Delta, Uwe, Uwe youths, Emerald, they there. And you go there and you want to now begin to do programs in correct English. There's a new station that started and they want to read news like the way Channels TV reads news. And you're targeting that audience. You waste your time. My friends in Quest TV, when I went to train them as Inception, they said the consultant that came to train them said they should be speaking like Oyibo. Jarok is in Port Harcourt. He's one of the biggest sports guys in that axis. He was in Quest. They picked me from the airport. I was coming and he was reading his sports. And the first thing he talked about was Roland Garros. And that's how he mentioned it. So when I got into the training session, there were like close to 50 of them in there. Staff of a station. No, do that mistake. Oh. You don't need plenty people to start a station these days. And I asked all of them, how many of you know what is called Roland Garros? Only 5 people raised their hand. Out of the 5, 3 were sports presenters. And that was what he started the show with. And I asked Jarok, is there nothing happening around here? They told me, and he was sounding yo, trying to buruboboyo. Nice, okay. Native robo, that's what we call ourselves. Native people. And then in Ugeli, not even in worry. And I asked him, is there nothing local happening around here? He now said, there's even a local sports show happening around. And the next week he went there. Do you know that the man that organized that sports program was the first person to sponsor a show? And that was one of the first or second sponsored programs on the station. I am in Abuja here. I want to watch what's going on in Delta. So I want to see those women selling things around the street in Ugeli, sounding in their local way. Ali Baba came to Lagos before this big comedy show started. Go and ask him the story. Some girls would say, I just like the way they talk. Just they talk for me. You know, they'll pay him money just to hear him talk. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yeah, forming professors. We're killing the way we do things locally. Till Oxford Dictionary called one small boy in Lagos. Say, hey, all those things we hear on the streets in Nigeria, whenever we come, I beg, tell us, let us put them in Oxford Dictionary. If they pay me, go check computer. You will see South African English when you are choosing languages. Not so? You will see Zimbabwe English. You know the one where pay me pass? Go check them. I see Sierra Leone English. Sierra Leone. That is not up to one part of one local government. But have you seen Nigeria English there? Because with a form over Sabi, instead of producing programs like us to suit us. Are you getting it? And that's why we killed creativity from that part. So you must produce those things to tally with the lifestyle of the people. And that's how they will connect with you. Today, Nollywood makes a lot of money. Funke Akindele raked how many billions recently? Not so. It is now Nigerians, that money they come from. A lot of the money, our Afrobeats guys, when they make all the billions, you guys are too broke to pay them now. How many of us, they stream songs or they pay to download songs? Everything are free they get here now. You go do free download and all that. They make the money initially from Nigerians abroad. It was when those Nigerians abroad started promoting and playing those things that Oyibo people now started coming in. Are you getting? My friend Laolu, who was one of our Kleverest Scenta coppers, Laolu Sebanjo, the same Laolu Sebanjo you know, he used to be CK, sang one song in those days, Baby Koskos, who designed the artwork for Beyonce's songs and video, who designed the artwork for Nike. Check his name, Laolu Sebanjo, was a Kleverest Scenta copper. Was one of us. One of his music video was even shot inside this same place where we are doing this kind of training in Area 10. In my former house there. One person called SA wants to speak. So I'll give you time to speak soon. Is there? Beyonce's manager called him when they saw his work. Called him and he was shocked. Beyonce called directly. Are you getting it? CAF is now copying some foreign what's it called? Handles of football clubs are now copying the way we do things in Nigeria, like Roma in Italy. I believe when this guy that is in, what's his name, Mark Otebo, was promoting Roma at one stage here in Nigeria, and they started putting a lot of things on their pages as a result of what Mark was doing here, and I think they flew him over there. So instead of going to copy things that don't relate to us, Look for what relates to us and promote it. That's what makes you original. And that is what will bring out your creativity. I remember when Laos, Luceb, and Joe were burning his promo CDs, and he now took the label and started designing it himself and said, and when I looked at it, I said, do you do art? He said, yes. He's a lawyer. His dad made him study law. His dad is a lawyer. But he loved music and all those things. And I said, you do this? I said, imagine you doing an art exhibition. This critical thinking, you think of other ways. And then playing your guitar, Okechukwu or Flavor, then go say Jinta. Or put him on Flavor. You know, pull out of Flavor. Playing your Jinta before embassies and all those top level people and singing your songs. You know where that will take you? And he started doing that. Within a few months, he was in New York. That's the person you see today. Because of this spirit of creativity. Are you getting it? Afro Mysterics is what he called it. He did not call it American Yankee Doodoo. And that is what put him on that creative platform. When they hear the Davidos, the whiskey, they say, what is this? It's new. We don't know it. They were only sounding Nigerian, doing things according to our lifestyle. Burna Boy would take things that happen and just do to it, you know, and his music. And they're making billions from it. Okay? Then 2, the next one is culture and religion. Nigeria is a multi-religious society. So you know, go you say, I want to do over creativity. Do content when go cause wahala for you. That is not creativity, that is stupidity. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That is not creativity, that is stupidity. So another thing you have to do is you must understand the culture and religion. Is different from lifestyle. Oh. This one is sensitive thing. There are taboos, there are things like that that you don't do. Are you getting? So you must understand it so you know where to draw the line. So when we do certain things on Flavor, we'll do different things on your taking. Let me check. Some people want to join. Accept them. You understand? So you know where to draw the line. So when you understand culture and religion, they are Islamic things. We talk about some radicalism and blah, blah, blah. But do you know that there are so many Islamic things you could create? If we had time, I would have shared some videos from the Middle East, Saudi Arabia and Iraq and some of all these countries. Watch MBC2, you will see them do some of all these things. In this place here, I receive stations in Morocco, Tunisia, places like that, Bangladesh. You will see creative things they are able to do, even using that same culture that some of you who don't have the ability to critically think, things stifle creativity. Now lie. You will see wonderful ways to use the same culture and religion. That was what we did in Yatekine, the youth program on HIV, that you will still use to build a lot of creativity in it. You will see ideas. Like now, I've been sharing things using the Bible that I know, not so. Kleverest Scenta itself was from David and Goliath. Are you getting? So if I did not use religion, I probably wouldn't have been able to coin this Kleverest Scenta that made it unique. Are you getting? And that's what made it creative. So you must understand those things. Don't run away from it. Understand it and see how you could use it. Who Nigerians they listen to pass? Is either your pastor or your imam. Someone's pastor would have told them now that they have an activity that they should not come for this training. He go listen. He go forget saying future depends on this training. Not lie. So you can imagine if these same religious people are able to listen and watch your program and love it, what do you think it will do? We have Christians who own Christian channels all over the country. I'm a board member of one. Adiola is here. She's the head of news of New Frontiers TV. I'm a board member there. It's owned by the Baptists. And we've been trying to get them to be creative. They are still very stiff. She's right here. Adiola, send one emoji, and some other of you from NFTV, send emoji. But many of the Christian stations, what do? Is preaching from morning till night because they lack those critical thinking. You broadcasters who are supposed to be the smart people, you are members of those churches and you are allowing them to waste airtime. Did you not see the TBN channel called Smile of a Child doing creative programs for children, JCTV for youth? Then CBN is in Nigeria here. They are the ones doing Superbook and several other programs that we watch. Their lifestyle programs that they do for women and all that is better than all our women program in our various stations. So that is a huge opportunity for creativity that we throw away. You claim you know your Bible and Quran very well, but you are not reading it with the mindset of critical thinking to know how to use that to improve the creativity of your program. Okay? In a few minutes, I will stop. Then we're going to open session till we end at 2. If I want to stay after then, we can continue, right? Then the last thing in this slide is media habits. Now, let me correct one impression that we have. Some people went out and they asked young people, what do you like to listen to on air? And they'll say music, right? Then they use that to think that when one white man came up with the term, more music, less talk, it meant play music for 70–80% of your broadcast time and then talk only small. And some of us they are setting up stations today with that same mindset. Hungry go catch you, you know, go fit pay salary. And that is the truth. What more music, less talk means is that you see me as I'm doing this training, you see sometimes I'll speak pidgin. Sometimes I'll crack a joke. I have insulted so many people here, but do I insulted them in a joking manner? Them too go they laugh. You understand? What I'm saying is that you need to soften the brain first. Use small humor. First, use something to get the atmosphere ready before you now begin to pump them with all those tough issues. But yeah, we'll just start program. Say, okay, you are welcome to Gra 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 program. Today we want to talk about stroke. Stroke is where you paralyze, you die. No, now. Calm down. And that is why sometimes the moment somebody just tunes in, the next thing they tune out after hearing your topic, which shouldn't be, because you didn't use something to prepare them. So when we talk about media habits, understand how people listen to programs, what they like to listen to, understand what time they tune. When we set up Darling FM in Owerri with John Nkamiang, I don't know if he has logged in. We did a lot of research. We found out about the lifestyle of the people like I talk. When do they go to work? For instance, a lot of people in many parts of Lagos, in many parts of Nigeria, just copy the rate card for Lagos. So if Lagos say 7 to 10 is prime time, AA, top prime time, yeah? They will just go and copy it. That's prime time in Lagos. Do you know how long they spend in traffic? You now go to Damaturu that they don't spend 5 minutes to get into their office. Lagos man will spend 3–4 hours on the road listening to radio. Then you just go and copy. Now they put a certain program at that time, you go and put it. But when we did that, we saw the kind of people in Owerri. We knew that one want to put one Igbo program that was very native, that these guys would like to listen to. We knew that 7 o'clock, these guys would want to listen to FRCN network news. So we made sure we put it immediately after FRCN network news. Are you getting what I'm saying? So you think about these things. Look at the people. How do they listen to radio? What do they listen to? Then what do they like? That question you asked. Now, back to that question. So if they like to listen to music, they like to listen to slang, they like pidgin program, they like humor, they like this one. It is not that thing they say they like that you need to do program about for them. So when they say they like to listen to music, a station will come up, Sound City, my very good friend station, Ogataj, and they'll play music from morning till night, right? It go hard for the revenue to come today. It could happen long ago when there were fewer stations, but today that everybody is competing for the same pocket. And you looking for a job also, that's here. And all when they say send a promo or demo, all you can do is play music and just talk, yo, this is top 10. Hungry go catch you. Pray not be midday that interview panel. You will get that job, lie. I'm telling you, that is not what broadcasting is about. Broadcasting is about helping people live better lives. See, is it not a shame that you go on air, you talk from morning till night, you play music, then you come up for station, come they complain. Hungry, they catch you. No light for your house. And you add the airtime to do programs that will change that seniority. Pothole, the roads in Lugbe, they are bad. Huh? What you are supposed to do are content, any content that will make that person move from one level to the next. So if you want to be creative and you want people to listen to you, see, if I do a program and that program is showing you how to make money and you are making money from it every day, won't you want to listen every day? You would want to. So the question to ask when doing that research, if you really want to be creative, ask that your audience, what do you need? So when you're doing that research, find out that person, what does that person need in life? Then when you find out what they need, now some of the things they need might not be sexy, might not be interesting. It's just like HIV. You don't even want to hear the I. Once you hear H, you don't run, talk less of V. Are you getting it? Health programs, your health is good. Yes, the information is good, but because like we established, it's not put in an interesting way, you will not watch. So when you find out what they need, and you've already found out what they like, right? They like music, they like this, they like that, they like that. You now take what they need and put it inside what they like. That's the creativity. Are you getting it? So we'll take the HIV, these young people we are trying to reach, they like music, their idols are the bands, then Rugged Man, all those people, Kate Anshaw, RMD, the Nollywood actors, and the musicians, right? So what did we do? We took the HIV and we put it inside their music. Who were the guests on Flavor? Flavor and HIV program. If you want to bring guests, the next thing you think about is to bring Minister of Health, Commissioner of Health, one doctor, boring doctor that can't speak English properly. Who were the guests on Flavor? Flavor was the most exciting youth show in the world. Not Nigeria, in case you don't know. It was in the world. In case you don't know. Mhm. Who were the guests? The band, Rugged Man. The most successful HIV spot, we call it spot, S-P-O-T, what you call jingle, was the Rugged Man and RMD jingle I produced in 2005. When those things, they were about testing, when they went out on air, after 3 months, NACA had to release reports that demand for testing had gone up by 500%. And there were only 70 places where you could do free testing in Nigeria. And we had to write to all the stations to stop airing it, because if you are creating demand and the supply is not there, it could backfire. That's why we now changed to that testimonial, where we started doing those stigma testimonials. That's what made us change. But that made NACA to go look for funding. So that's what they used to set up heart-to-heart centers you find in all government hospitals in Nigeria. So if you go on my LinkedIn page, for instance, you will see where I wrote that I created XYZ that led to the setup of heart-to-heart centers in Nigeria. It's just one sentence. I don't have to come and tell you I worked 12 years in a radio station. Just one sentence and I'll be given the job. Are you getting what I'm saying? Impact from one item. Just one small item of a program you produced. Are you getting it? So if you have a child, for those of you who have child, when you want to give the child medicine that is bitter, what do? You put it inside waiting, sweet thing, Ribena, not be so, and they will now eat it. That's the same thing you do with your program. So you take that difficult topic. For instance, instead of you talking all this Wike Fubara politics that gets us angry and security and all those, take it, identify your target audience, know what they like, and then put that thing, that politics, inside what they like. Now, I'll give you a proper example. Go online and look for Niambi. The program is off air now. It's a BBC Media Action program in Tanzania. Some of you know the Tanzanian president that died, Magufuli, that came and took over. Nobody was expecting him to win election. He was not of the old order. He was a totally different person. Some of you were trying to do the change through Obi and all those things. Not so. Trying to bring someone different from the old block. They called us. I spent a couple of time on them on phone to study flavor that we did here. And they used it to produce a governance-related program for young people, Niambi. Go and check it in Tanzania. It became the most popular program in Tanzania. I've been trying to reach our Hiaga people, not too young to run, to do such things here in Nigeria. And guess what? Without noise, without anything, the young people got up. That's how they voted Magufuli in. And Magufuli came and he changed the norm. And everybody was like, there was a trend going on then. What will Magufuli not do? Until he died. It changed Tanzania. And both the economic and everything outlook of Tanzania changed. During the, what's it called? That's, NSAS. I was interviewed by Cameroon Broadcasting Corporation. Now, every other person interviewed on NSAS, you talk about his career, you talk about this, talk about that. You know what I talked about? That clip is still there online. I talk about the beauty of it. That was the first, that's how you turn things creatively. That was the first campaign anywhere in the world that was done digitally without any physical lead. That showed you the power of the Nigerian youth to be very creative. People brought in ambulances, people brought in food, DJ, music. It was like a carnival, but it was a protest until government, the uncreative government, came and scattered it with violence. If I was the government, I would have done what Fayoshe did in Ekiti when civil servants were protesting. He now came out and joined them, started dancing, say, I'm protesting with you too. And I saw the protest end. Are you getting? We would have tapped into it. Thank God the it's what led to the creation of digital economy. Bosun Ayeni, anybody know him? Tell him to come and look for me, please. Him be great just site too, like me. And they send a message, there is reply. That is how we will tap in what the young people like. Tap into Afrobeat, tap into Nollywood, tap into these skit makers that we have, and be able to produce content on stations that will make impact. Are you getting it? Okay. Time don't go. So I suppose round up. So let me look for one more thing to talk about before I come out, which is, for those of you who have attended my trainings on program production, you have seen this slide. And this is one of the most important slides in creativity. See, if I ask you what you want to do a program about, and you're not able to say it in simple terms, in one simple sentence, it means you don't understand it. It means you've not critically thought about it. It means you cannot produce it. Are you getting? Now, creativity is how you are able to summarize one big thing that is very large and bring it into one small bit. For instance, many sports programs are just unnecessarily long, talking rubbish as far as I'm concerned, 1 hour. Whereas everything they do, I could finish it in 5 minutes. Cosmos Chukwuemeka, I always give him as an example. Amarachi Mirapi, who worked with Cosmos, just posted stuff. And she's a sports presenter and also TV in Abuja. She's one of the best sports female presenters in Abuja. She's hiding herself. So if you are looking for a very good sports presenter, Amarachi is one of them. Mirapi, she's supposed to be physically here now. Maybe a pastor, like I said, told her not to. That they have a church program, not to be here. Now, Cosmos Chukwuemeka, I always use him as an example. You could go watch his videos online. He's one of the biggest sports guys in the Southeast. He's the, I think, Secretary of Media Officers now of football clubs in Nigeria. He scripts more than anybody in the station, Darling FM, when we started the station. After a training, he learned how to script, started scripting. It does that more. It doesn't have this, it's not this your good presenter, it's like me. We don't have good voice. You understand? And then when his sports program became very exciting, it's 30 minutes. But we'll now put plenty adverts. He started complaining, said the adverts are becoming too much on my program. I don't have time to talk. In fact, there were times we quarreled, But when he now understood that creativity of simplicity, within that same short time he has, Cosmos Chukwuemeka will be able to give you so many things. He does a lot of research and he'll be able to be dropping it, arranged, properly arranged, one after the other. Not all these ones that do yes, yes, no, no. One after the other is the most exciting sports program. In that 30 minutes, he will give you what all the other sports presenter will not do in 2 hours. If one player scored a goal from this angle today, Cosmos Chukwuemeka will tell you when, years ago, when that thing happened from another person. He will give you loads of information because he has been able to learn that secret of summary and understand his content. Okay? And since I'm saying Cosmos, let me say something. Since I said this about those of us who don't know how to present, someone was asking me for feedback, and I know they won't give too much feedback. Now, you could have, because especially when it has to do with the voice, because they won't understand. You could have a very terrible voice like me. I have one of the worst voices you can think about, but I won best presenter. Yes, I won best presenter at one stage for Abuja, Benue, and Nasarawa put together. Why? Because I understood myself and I understood my voice. So I knew words that I can't pronounce. For instance, some letters with D, J. When I see it, I'm able to change it. Okay? So many of you don't know how to script. For instance, I also give this example of Okechukwu. Go and check him. His name is Jake Efodu on Instagram. Jake Efodu. Go check him. He's an assistant professor in Canada. That's the presenter of Flavor then. He was a 200 level law student. For those of you who listened to Flavor then, how many of you knew that Okechukwu stammered? He was a stammerer. But yet, he was the most popular presenter. Matilda is also in Canada. Matilda Slaws. So when they write their intro like this, I go laugh them. As a producer, you must know your presenters even more than them. I go laugh them. I go say this thing. And I say, see yourself. So you identify all those words you have problems with. Okay? And look for alternatives to change it. Maybe my music production skills help me also. Because when you're composing a song, when I told you that some music composers and musicians we have are not creative, you find out that some of the words don't rhyme. The rhymes sweet, as they are sweet. It helps your songs move faster when you know how to rhyme. They'll just put the words the way it is. But if you have critical thinking, which is creativity, you'll be able to ask yourself, this thing doesn't rhyme, it doesn't flow. So if I'm doing ragana and I say now at the time this one at the owa, give your life to Jesus and he might go make you sower. He build you up and then you bloom like a flower. You see how it rhymes. Are you get you get what I'm saying? So when you're scripting also, those are the kind of things you look out for that makes your presentation to be smooth. Igbone something, please mute. Baby, look for somebody who is he has muted himself. All right. And it rhymes. Are you getting? So I will pick another word and change it and it rhymes. For instance, my email address on Campus Live, because it's long, if I have to read it, I'll stumble. So I turned it into something else. So I'll say ASOCAMPUSLIFE@yahoo.com. You get that? And you laugh. It's exciting. That's the creativity. Sometimes it is those small things that make people want to listen. So Cosmos Chukwuemeka, with his bad voice, when he goes on air, he will say Poyaka, Poyaka. He will call himself small man, big mouth, big engine, something like that. He says all those kind of things. So when a listener calls in, the listener too will say Poyaka to you. You say Poyaka back. Everybody. But they don't know that he's using that and his script. Go watch his video. You see him looking at the laptop. The script is there. He understands the script that guides him. Huh? So he's able to deliver sharp, fast, with pace. And he will just be going on that, and you're enjoying the sports show. Not these are our guys that will be repeating the same thing. Yes. No. Don't you hear them in sports? Arsenal and Man U, that's all. Nothing else to add to it. On Rave FM in Oshogbo. Oshogbo is one village-like capital. But Rave FM was making more money than all the stations, maybe apart from Fresh and Splash in Ibadan. Why? And the program then, when they started, I was generating the highest amount of revenue, was their sports program. The guy would use Yoruba, what do they call them? Proverbs, to be talking about Man U and Arsenal. The day the owner was taking me to the station to go and do one training for them one day, and we're driving and I was listening in the evening. And I told him, this program must be a money spinner. I said, how did you know? That's the program that generates the highest amount of revenue. Just by doing these things is what I did with Campus Life that brought in all those adverts in. Is the Campus Live, that program that gave me the job with Internews Network. I didn't have to apply. International job. You get it? Okay? So the trick is this. That thing you have there, it says in one sentence, you must be able to tell me what your program is about. You, this guy doing IT, you want to go for an interview. In that one sentence, you should be able to tell them about yourself. You want to pitch a project to someone. In one sentence, you should be able to say it. Some people say, my GM, I have ideas. I want to start this new program. My head of program did not allow me. Have you been able to put it in a simple form, in a way that you will understand it? And the secret is this. One, who is that program for? Who is the target audience? Two, what is the program about? Which is, what is the program for? What issues, kind of issues are you dealing with? And what is the expected outcome? We make a lot of noise in the broadcast industry today, and that's why Nigeria is the way it is. They will tell me that, oh, we've done this. I'll travel to somewhere. Why is this road bad? They will tell me that they've done programs on it. If the program you're doing is not causing any change, it means that you're not doing it properly. For those of you who are here, you saw the new road you passed when you came in here, the one you entered before you branched. You saw how smooth it is new, right? When that road went into the supplementary budget, they've eaten the money several times in the past, and they would have continued to do that. When it went into the supplementary budget, I invited reporter and cameraman from 7 TV stations. And we did a training year when I just noticed that it went into the supplementary budget of FCT. And we did a training year on reporting infrastructure. And these are the same things we share, how you creatively do this. And then they produce reports right here on the road. I funded it. I wrote to the stations to invite them officially. I gave them transport money the way we do when NGOs invite you. It was from my pocket. One of my neighbors, when he saw what I was doing that day, from nowhere, he just sent 100K into my account to support. Most of the people in this whole community filled up with so many estates, over 80-something estates, did not know what was going on. And these guys went on and put this content on air on their various stations. It was an NTA network, AIT, all of them like that. Within 2 weeks, they mobilized the contractor to site. Within 7 months, they finished that stretch of road you people passed. And you see how the community is enjoying it. That is the power when you know how to creatively produce programs. Nobody interviewed Minister of FCT. Nobody interviewed Director of Works in FCDA or Development Control or anybody. Nobody interviewed any of the contractors or anybody. We just use things to creatively create content and put it out there. And you see the change. If not, some of now enter Okada on for Christ. Yeah. Are you getting it? So if you get this formula right, it will help you to think and summarize. And when you are able to put all this your thinking into a simple sentence, it will become your guide. So you will know I'm doing this program for stubborn Jackson sitting over there and typing those things in the message chat. The issues that we are trying to do are what? So and so kind of issues. And the expected outcome is that after doing these programs, Jackson should be able to convert his stubbornness into being productive. And guess what? In one of our trainings, that was what I did with Jackson. Jackson was one of the biggest troublemakers in the Kleverest Scenta group. For those of you who joined in the early days when people were quarreling and fighting over anything anybody posted, Jackson was one of them. Today, he is our coordinator of webinars. He has been doing that well for how long? 1 year now or thereabouts. Are you getting? Now you see how I was able to apply these program production skills into even what we do, and turned a stubborn guy. Now he has gotten a job in a new station in Abuja, and he had to leave Lagos and come to Abuja. Okay? And all those skills are definitely what you use to answer those questions. If not, they will not think of flying somebody from Lagos to come and take a job in Abuja where plenty people there. Are you getting what I'm saying? He's sitting down here. This is the first time I'm seeing him face to face. And he has been active working for Kleverest Scenta for this while. All right. So that's where I'll stop. So that we could take other people who have ideas. I am hoping that after, thank God, Ruben is program manager for one sickle cell project, one of the best sickle cell projects in Nigeria. Is here. I just sent that emoji. We're doing this kind of trainings. Now, I want to let you know that one solid program will be coming on ASO Radio, courtesy the organization Ruben is with, on sickle cell. So some of those things we've done creatively with HIV, we're trying to do it also with sickle cell. Now look at all the various sectors in Nigeria. We are all looking for the same, pursuing the same politician, pursuing the same, whereas there are many ways we could make this thing. So take this your one sentence. Pick up one sector. As I said from the beginning, thinking of all those creative things you see. And think of a sector you can use any of those creative things you see to talk on. And then do a pitch for an organization. Identify an NGO, any organization that is working on that, and do something creative for them. Kimberly, who is Jackson's head of program, was in Nigeria Info, doing some of all those kind of really boring things. She did attachment with Talk Your Own. She went back to the station, changed a lot of things the way she did a lot of things. And she became the favorite of NGOs. Some of the people, the NGOs she brought in, now came and started even funding programs on the station. They invite her for a lot of things, a lot of activity. Why? Because she has been able to do something creative in a station that is supposed to be a talk station. Are you getting? Big Mo in Wazobia, he did the same thing. While some other people get into trouble, he has never gotten into any real trouble because he uses creativity to push issues. It doesn't just come and talk anyhow. It deals with issues, but in a creative way. Are you getting what I'm saying? You're going for your next job interview. What are those exciting things about you? How do those things relate to that organization that you are going to apply to? How can you tell them within a short time how you can use this part of you that you have to enhance their industry? You understand? Don't just focus on that technical skill. What is it creatively that God has blessed you with that you could also use to enhance that organization? They will love it and they will give you the job. Okay? So that's where we'll stop. And I hope that by this, when you go back to your stations, you will not be showing us ugly faces of politicians all the time. You will think of new ways to do programs. This is just tips. So if you want to learn further, tell your station to invite us and pay us to come and train you. We'll spend time. In Darling FM, we used 3 months to train them. 3 months. Until today, even when they were off air, they were still rated as #1. Okay? So let's work on that. Change our head of programs, head of stations here, head of programs that are here. Go back and change things. And stop doing the same, all those things that cause problem for us. And Nigeria will be better. Thank you very much. So I'm going to hand over to Jackson to take it up from here. So anybody can ask questions. I can come back and answer. Anybody that has any contribution, you do that. Okay? Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. And if you can listen to me live and direct from the city of Abuja, it is definitely a beautiful weekend in the city of Abuja, and I'm so happy to be here, especially for those of us present here. Thank you very much for tuning in and also listening to our amiable doctor, Aro Leonard. I call it tuning in because I'm used to the broadcasting language. I'm sorry. Then, while others are also involved for the weekend flexing and other social activities that makes the weekend interesting, we are here enjoying this beautiful and amazing interaction and insightful section where we've gained so much knowledge, and we love the way every message was passed very easily, and it was also said in the most understandable manner. So, a quick recap of what has been said so far for those of us who are just coming online. We talked about the formula for creativity, and we talked about those formulas, which included observing five things happening around you every day to have the good knowledge of being a very good creative out there. Then think of one problem facing the country and what problem you could solve. And remember that it's also one that if you cannot think, you can't be creative. So very important. Try to think. Thinking abilities helps you a lot. So the question there that was asked is, why is critical thinking important? And our amiable Dr. Aru helped us to know that it helps in decision making process. It enhances problem solving skills and ability. It also refines your research skills. It is very important as a broadcaster or a creative out there to research, research, research. Do not just try to jump onto the bandwagon because you are making money from it. What if you now jump on it and you're not making the same money the way they're making it? At a point, you get bored and you leave the profession. So try to refine your research skills, polish your creativity. Yes, everyone is doing the same thing, but what makes you unique from others? That is the question. Then stimulate your curiosity. It is very important for you to stimulate your curiosity. Then remember that your content has to represent the lifestyle of the people in your proximity. Understand that's very important. Look for what relates to you that is original and promote it rather than looking for foreign elements. Of course, you can't carry the what's happening in the US to what is happening in Nigeria and try to create the same pattern. No, it's not. It's not. It doesn't bring out the reality of what we are talking about. So understand the culture and religion in your proximity and know when to draw the line. It is very important. Then Dr. Aro also went further in talking about media habits that everyone should try to emulate. And one of such is understanding lifestyle of the people, understanding how they listen to not just radio, also how they listen to television, how they listen to issues happening around. What do they listen to, and what time of the day is more important for their listenership out there? So ask them what they need, and this involves you having your, I call it a feasibility studies, and bringing up your own reports at the end of the day. Take what they need and insert in it what insert inside what they need, what they like. So if someone likes something, look at what they need. Very important. Need before want or like. So once you get what they need, you insert it into what they like and make it in the most important form where they can enjoy what you're doing out there. And we also talked about what is creativity. We understood that creativity is the ability to summarize a complex content into the most shortest and creative way or approach. Then we talked about assessment when creating content. So, what are those assessments? What are those things you need to look at when you are creating your content? First of all, we talked about who are your target audience. We also talked about who are the people involved while you are creating your content, and that is talking about the demography of the people. Then we talked about what is the impact of your program and how does it affect change. Yes, he gave an example of the road that was bad in this axis. And if it wasn't a people impactful story that was reported, there wouldn't have been change. And that is why I could find it very easy to take a bike here without hassle. I did not even have to call him, and I got here, and he was shocked that he saw me right here. So that's just a summary of what we said so far. And I know we have questions from all angles. So at this point, I would appreciate if you have question, you can either put the question in the message right here, in the message box where we are having this conversation, or you can just raise up your hand and unmute your mic and you ask your question. So let's see, any question from any angle that you would like to ask Dr. Aro right here so he can answer. This is an open session discussion at this point. So if you have question, you can unmute your mic and let us know. So let me appreciate those online. Okay, someone has. Do you have a question out there?
Yes, please.
Okay, Adekule. Oh, okay. The great Adekule. Go ahead.
I'm lawyer, sir. Dr. Aro, good afternoon. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Go on, go on.
The great Adekule, go ahead. We are listening to you, sir. Is the network having issues? Okay, any other question? Adekule, I think we are finding it difficult to get across to him. Okay, so I want to appreciate people online. I see you, Patience. I see you, Igbo. I see you, Lena, Helena, Udora. I see you, Dare. I also see Njofwe, Monica. I see Dare. I see who else am I seeing here? I see Ruben also here. I see Emerald. I see Hakimat. I see Enobong. I see Amarachi Ayo, and also seeing Jude, Jumoke, and Muturayo. So, any question from any angle, or are we fine with it? This is an open discussion, and also from the house for those present here. Do we have any question or any contribution to this open session that we've enjoyed today? Okay, so I also I have one of my colleagues here all the way from. Okay, somebody has a question. All right, go ahead, Mr. Ike.
Yes, please. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited, and Dr. Aro, I really appreciate my own. I don't want to say that I'm in the wrong place at the right time. I don't want to say that because I gained a lot. So what I want to ask, personally, I create content online. What about, because it sounds as if it's rare, if a content creator wants to integrate and run into media, because we are trying to make an arrangement where we'll be running, if not 24 hours, but 12 hours or 10 hours online program, not necessarily TV station, but run it online for 12 hours or 10 hours. So that integration, I want to ask a question, if there will be a light that can be thrown on that integration, from content creating to not really running TV station, but running online program constantly, like 12 hours, 10 hours.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Let me say that there are so many things. That's why you must go back to your station. Tell your Oga to invite me. That's the truth. Tell your Oga to invite me. There are so many things, and this information is missing. Currently, broadcasting. See, put off your mic there.
Sorry.
Yes. Okay. Broadcasting currently lives inside social media. That is why the so-called content creators, wait, why are we even calling them content creators? Because some of them don't really know how to even create content. They just do some things and just put it there. You are the real content creator, apart from the fact that, so content creation is a small arm under the broadcaster that you are, or the communications person that you are. Content creation is just a small arm under there. So you are the real content creators. Broadcast today lives inside social media. So if you have a a station that is just doing terrestrial, everything you do is online, and from your online, you are telling people to go and check your online pages, you will remain broke forever. 70% of the advert that used to come to regular stations now goes online. So it is not how to integrate them. How do we do? It has to be part of it if you want to survive as a broadcast station. Your station, your programs must first start on social media platforms. So this creativity will make you know how to produce promos and things like that that you put on air. So at the beginning, I was giving an example of my station, Groove FM, that just came back to life with a new management, new everything, you know, and they are putting these skits online now to get themselves, you know, promoted. Let that skit not just be about just skits. Let them be part of your content. Turn those content into those kind of creative skits and push them out there. Because you're not doing that, that's why they will go and look for those content creators and pay them money. They don't even know. When you watch some of all those their skits, you can see that they don't really make sense. Many of them don't have anything. You're the one that has the skill to really do something with those kind of things. So it is now part of it. IK. It is not separate. UNESCO released a publication. Go and check it online. Just Google online, content creators versus journalists. What journalists can learn from content creators, which are things that we know better, that we are currently not doing, but content creators are doing and making the money. So you must start producing your program like content creators. I had this training on at FRC Radio Nigeria in December, and we talked about something like that. We had a training also in December for content creators, training them on misinformation and all that at the United Nations, and we talked about all that. So now you must integrate it. Look at what the content creators are doing. Look at how they are doing it, and then design these your sensible programs like that and put it there. So if you have a 30 minutes program, you must also have a 1 minute skit that goes with that program. You must have a 5 minutes cut out that you can turn to something else that goes with that program, and you put that on. Now, if you want to start a TV station, for instance, I set up Souk News is in Lagos. They are the owners of ILFM also in Lagos. The station is still on YouTube today. It's not gone on satellite, not gone on terrestrial. By the time they finish installing this, what's it called? Fiber optics in estates and all that, they promised us to install here in July. Since they've not come now, that's why we're having this challenge. Now, when they do that, have you noticed that DSTV, do you see DSTV make noise about DSTV anymore? What's it called? This station organization has bought part of it over. They are focusing on Showmax, because if you have 24 hours internet in your organization, what do you need a satellite dish for when you can have everything you need online? So you start online. It's when you now become popular online before you now go terrestrial. New stations just start up. Nobody knows them online. They are ready. In those days when we didn't have online more, when we're starting Dream FM in Enugu, late Antonio Cruz asked the owner to give them vehicles. He branded the vehicles Dream FM. They were just driving around Enugu for 6 months, hyping the station. It's the same kind of thing you will do online when you now become popular there before you now begin to go terrestrial. This is Expo. So what you're thinking of doing is the right way. Move online, start there. There's nothing you do terrestrial that cannot be put online in different formats. And go do a training on the different formats. And we did several training on monetization and all that, Facebook and all that. Thompson, the guy that posts the website thing in the Kleverest Scenta group, he did 3 practical trainings for us earlier on, and he will still do some others and focus on that. So you're thinking the right way. So you cannot be creative. You cannot say you want to produce creative content and you're not starting it online. You could just fail. That's where it has to start from.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Princess, get question.
Yeah, Koli. Koli has a question. Koli, please unmute your mic and go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Aro, Happy New Year.
Same to you.
I want to say thank you, first of all, for this wonderful education you passed on to all of us. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for it. You're an amazing person. So I have a few questions. The first one is, you talked about doing shows when you were talking about doing certain kind of shows that seem boring, especially seeing that a lot of Nigerians are going through a lot. You said to make it a bit exciting. I'm actually someone who like to put some sort of excitement in anything I do, no matter how boring the topic might be. So I totally agree with you on that. However, I am actually looking forward to starting a new show. It's supposed to be basically like current affairs, like anything trending. It mustn't necessarily be politics. So I was hoping if I could get some sort of, like you said, extra on how to make it exciting, so it doesn't look like every other thing that everyone is doing on TV. I want to make it a bit unique, a bit different and exciting. So I appreciate if you could give me 1 or 2 clues on that. So yes, that's one. I'll just allow you to respond to that.
No, ask the second one. So I can take it together. We don't have time. Just ask the second one. Ask your second question so I can take them together.
Oh, okay. All right. So my second question is, you mentioned how we could improve ourselves. That way, we'll have people wanting to sponsor our show. I'm actually looking at trying to see if or how best to get sponsorship for programs, maybe from NGOs or MDAs or ministries. So I'll also like a clue on how to go about that. So we don't just go verbatim, but have a way to attract them themselves. If you could just give some clues on that, that would be appreciated as well. Thank you.
Okay. Now, the wicked me, normally, I don't know why people even still like me, because I'm usually very wicked. The 2 questions you ask are questions I don't answer. And that is why I talked about that critical thinking. Now, it's like this. If as a broadcaster, you ask someone, and it's part of this creativity we are talking about, so you need to learn it now. If as a broadcaster, you ask someone, say, I want to do this, how should I go about it? It will tell you basics, and you might be stuck there. But if on your own, you try out something, then you now come and tell that person, say, look, I tried this, or this is what I am thinking. This is the way I think I can do this. The person who is now giving you ideas will know the level you are. They will now raise you higher than that level. Are you getting it? Will now raise you higher than that level. And that's the reason why many of you are not able to have your program ideas go on air. You will now say it's the GM that is the bad person. No, you've not done your homework. So you must first of all think by yourself. Use all these skills, these creative skills I gave you. Oga Ayo is here. You would like to say something. so use these creative skills that we're giving you, then come up with something before you ask the senior person or whoever you want to ask for help. But for politics and all these kind of things, This road program I talked about, it's the same thing. Even when you talk about those health issues, flavor and all that, it's governance. It's the same thing you will go and invite the Minister of Health for. We didn't. So one first thing you need to do is to remove the thought of those regular people you always think about. That's one. You've already said that thing about you looking at things around and seeing what you can connect it to. Start doing that. Then use what is called mind mapping. So you do not just come and say, what's it called? I can share this screen now. Say, today's program is about security. For instance, you come say today's, you guys can see the screen. I just shared something now. You can see it. So you not just come and say today's program is about security, or the one that has been the topic that I've been using as example, security challenges in Nigeria. No. When you take the security, you break it down. So you want to do politics. Politics is not, each thing has something. It has governor, there's a component. If you're talking to Wike, his constituency is FCT. Is the minister of the FCT, not so. What are the various issues affecting the FCT? You don't just come and within your 30 minutes or 1 hour program, you want to now sum all those things up and think that you'll be able to finish it. No. So you should be able to say, put it in this kind of format, put that security in the middle, or put that FCT in the middle, and then begin to ask yourself those questions. What are the things connected to the FCT? What are the various departments? What is FCT about? You know, what are the various issues happening in the FCT? Then you bring it down. Then you begin to take it one after the other. So if you bring in Wike today, you will not just be asking him questions like that. That is why politicians, they do whatever they want to do and they get away with it. You focus on one particular area so that after that area is completed, you can see the immediate change. The BBC Talk Your Own radio program. In this Lugbe year, this was even before I moved into Lugbe, they built a market, Amak market, for so many years. There was no transformer in that area. There was no light in the market. Just one BBC Media Action Talk Your Own program. And immediately, the minister sent a transformer there. So if they had come and they were saying they were talking about Lugbe generally, would you be able to pinpoint to that issue? No. They focus specifically on power. And they used an example from that market, bringing the leader of the market. Are you getting? So that's how you creatively do this, your so-called political program. There's nothing like that. It's about governance. The human beings are not there to come and be defecting from PT for us. They are there to govern. They are there to provide services. So that's that one. The second one about sponsorship. Listen, just like I told you, I started that Campus Live program. On Sundays, those of you who have worked in stations, you know that in a radio station, nobody puts advert on Sunday, 5 p.m. It's only all those plenty adverts that overflow into that part. But I just told you the station had to increase the airtime because we're looking for space to put 30 in 30 minutes. Now, what you have to focus on is focus on the needs of that your target audience. Once the needs of that your target audience is met, I'm telling you the truth, they'll start listening. Once they start listening, they'll be the ones spreading your story and the advert will come. Now, stations make mistake by employing marketers, sending them out on the streets and all that, where you don't have any content for them to even go and market. What are they marketing? You go and beg or come put advert. No, the advert that works is the one that comes on his own. When we start dialing FM, people will say, oh, go and do media pally in Lagos. I say, relax. I say, if you cannot get the average Owerri man to bring money from his pocket We did research during our BBC days in our master classes we used to do on revenue generation. We found out that the 2 states in Nigeria where they don't like paying for adverts was Imo and Abia State. And I said, if you can't do content that will make this average Owerri man bring money from his pocket to drop, then we should not set up this station at all. And I'm telling you the truth, with local advert, within the 2nd month, we started paying staff salary. This was not in the early 2000s. This was 2017 that we set up the station. And the station is still running today. And it's one of those few stations that have never, ever really owed salaries in the Southeast till date. Are you getting it? So now, if you want to attract these people, first focus on the people. Start doing the things that will make those people want to listen to you. Then, you have the online space now. Start sharing your content. Use hashtags. Tag those various organizations and they will come to you. One day, we will bring in Kimberly of Nigeria Info in Abuja here to tell us how she ended up becoming the toast of many NGOs in a station that is supposed to be a boring station. She'll be able to share some of those experiences, but it's first of all getting to the audience. So when you do the content, you now share it and tag them. Once they see it, that is something unique, they will look for you and come to you. It's as simple as that. But what we have now, you're not doing the content, and even when you do it, you're not doing it properly. It is not creative. It is not exciting, and you want the money to come. From where now? See, let Oga Ayo speak. He has his hand up. Oga.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this. This is refreshing. I had actually forgotten about it until I saw your post in the group again about joining. So I said, make I quickly enter here. Okay. So this is in response to Princess. Now he's been talking about creativity, and that's actually the basic of turnaround in anything you want to do. In that media space we are in, that word is actually the action word in everything. You don't want to sound like every other person. As a matter of fact, everything has been done before. Your program idea, your thinking, it's been done before. But what you need to look at is how was it done then? Why didn't they do it a certain way? And how would you rather approach yours? Everybody wants to go to the market, but remember there are many ways, many inroads to that market. So it reminds, when I was in the Voice of Nigeria, then you know the way they do programming is just straight jacket thing. I got in, and suddenly at a meeting one day, somebody said, "Ayo is sounding funky." You know, that one, no, this is not the standard. It's sounding funky. And your guy then, Prof, what's his name again? Can't remember. We call him Prof. Prof said, I brought Ayo in here because he's a breath of fresh air. He doesn't think like everybody here. So, Ayo, what's your excuse? I said, okay, I'm not sounding funky. I'm actually sounding lively. So I had to draw a difference between being funky, which is against, in quotes, the standards of Voice of Nigeria, and bring in my liveliness. So one of the things I did when I got into that studio is the studio was a modern studio, nice, but it has all this, the soundproofs were black. So you kind of walk into the studio, it kind of boxes you in and dreary. So you might just lose whatever, life you're bringing in. So just go straight. What's that? 16 hours, blah, blah, blah. You talk the normal thing, you put the reel on it, you go. So I brought in posters. I put in Tony Tetula posters, put in remedies, put it on posters. They walked in, and the place, it's lit up. it's late. You come in, you know you want to talk, you go straight. So I did that, and then I brought in a different episode. You're coming to the studio, you're happy you're coming to the studio. Now, when you talk about that, how do you want to how are you going to creatively present your program? I'll give you an example. Everybody plays music. You know, we always do that. You want to play music. Everybody plays music. But how would you present your own that is different? So what I did then was I started focusing on the musicians themselves. So it's not just then whoever is playing them, let me just pick some person. It's not just maybe Daddy Shoki playing his stain or whoever. I might tell you that. Say, did you hear the bass guitar in that song? It's played by so and so person. The same person played the bass guitar in so and so album. This person also did so and so. The sound was recorded in so studio, mastered by so person. The person who did the intro to Lagbaja's song is actually Yinka Davis. But Yinka Davis is different from Ego. Ego is the lady who is singing all about. Yinka did that intro, and this is Yinka's impact on music. So now you're not just listening to me talking about music. You are listening to me dissecting that music. I'm presenting it. I will tell you stories about who the musicians are, how they got to where they are, who wrote the song, how long did it take to get the song out, who produced it, which studio. If I tell you that, the studio, what's it called, Wizkid, was first did his sound was in somewhere in Shita. You know, there's this small studio called what's it called? Nice was a studio in Bariga. They were called the Coded Tunes. Adi Kabasa had that studio there. These guys, things like that. Now, so you're not just listening to me playing, the latest song here is so person. You are listening to me telling you. So I will completely dissect that track for you, that music for you. And so you know more about the music. You are not just listening to it. So that's where your creativity comes in. Look at what you want to do. This is the title of the program. This is the synopsis. Has it been done before? What did they do about it? How did they go about it? What approach did they make? What am I going to do that's going to be different from everything they've done? And that's where your critical thinking cap comes on. So everything is being said today is still revolves around, is actually the answer to what you are asking. You just need to connect them. Critical thinking, program, governance in whatever. Okay, what is governance? Has it been done before? Where is the program? Who are the target audience? Okay, instead of you focusing on the whole FCT, take it segment by segment, break it down. That market road is in FCT. Who is the market person? Who established the market? When was it established? Who are the market leaders? Forget about the big shots. It will take forever for you to get them. Get those people in the grassroots. Talk to them. Approach. When you have a different approach, in short, a different approach to your program, that's when do what has not been done before. Dare to do it. And that brings it on. So I think, Princess, you have a gem in your hand if you only know how to use it. Like you say, an equipment is as good as its operator. If you see somebody driving the Volkswagen Beetle who drives better than somebody with a Porsche, if you put the person in the Porsche into a Volkswagen Beetle, might never know how to do anything with it. So it's not about how it looks, it's about what goes inside. And then you see that it will gradually change from inside and come out. And when it's out there, people will be looking for you. You'll just be so surprised. So critical thinking, creativity, they work hand in hand. So take a good look at that, your idea. Open it up. Dare to do what has not been done to it before. Approach it in a different format entirely. Not me expecting you. I can tell sometimes on radio, I can tell you the first two, three sentences of something. Good morning, welcome to sports, something. This is so sporting. So I can tell you why. Why? As well as I can predict your first 5 sentences, I don't come out for that. I don't go another place. but keep me hungry. Keep me hungry. Keep me longing for you. And you have me. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very, very much, sir.
Thank you so
We really
much.
appreciate that insightful
Appreciate
knowledge.
it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Coley, I hope you've learned from that, right?
Definitely, I did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. So I come straight to those who are present physically at the venue right here. Do we have any questions or contributions to what has been discussed so far? Does anyone want to say something? Okay. So I think we're good with that. Is there any other person who wants to talk about it? Who? Okay. So okay, we have Chima, Mr. Chima, sir. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you, Leonard, for organizing this training. It's very interesting. Thank you for doing this. It's very refreshing to start the new year. And thank you for reminding some of us that we are doing rubbish when we are producers. Thank you very much. But I'm glad that somebody like you is out there who is able to point the way. I'm glad that somebody like you is out there who can point the way, the proper direction, and guide other producers so that they can know exactly what to do. And I'm glad you're taking up this topic because, like what you mentioned about, like we ought to be like. Within the program, we have to have we have to be like these kids, all the what they call them content creators. They're eating our lunch. They have become. It. Everybody looks to them for direction now. So we are producers. We're supposed to be the ones who are trained, but we are the ones who are there complaining about one thing or the other. No revenue coming, and then people are making millions on YouTube every week. And so I'm glad we're talking about this now. And I'm glad you're providing solutions to what is really happening.
I think there could be a network failure somewhere from him. But I think the message was well understood. Thank you very much for yapping,
Like you
producers.
said, broadcasting now lives inside social media.
Okay,
And I think that all of us need to wake up to that fact. Broadcasting is different. It's going to be difficult for us.
Could you recap?
Hello?
Could you recap what you've just said?
Hello?
Your network was having issues.
Wow. Oh, sorry. I was saying that I'm glad that somebody like Leonard is doing this thing now. So I'm glad that what he said about content creators actually like having success in this thing that I believe is correct, because right now broadcasting lives inside social media and we need to understand how the game is working now. It was different years ago, but it's different now. It's not a social media thing. We need to know how to grab attention. And I think from what I've been hearing all along, I think everything boils down to being able to grab attention and keep attention, suspense, being able to create that thing that makes people want to stay with you and deliver a message. So I'm glad he's talking about it because a lot of the time I think a lot of us did a lot of rubbish and a lot of lazy production work, because really the truth is that when you bring people into a studio to come and talk about Mario versus Arsenal for 2 hours, it's because you don't want to think or you don't want to really exert yourself. So I'm glad he's putting the way for producers who are still in the field. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that insightful
Can I say
contribution.
something about Oga Chima? Is worked in several international organizations, did a lot of reports. I did not even know that we were fellow Josites. It was his reports. In fact, the first time I saw him do a report, was it 2005 or 6 or something like that? I just saw something fresh about the way he was handling it. And something about, I want to say about this, for those of us working in stations, from what Ayo said. I gave you the example earlier on of Sheyi Martins, the people they call bad boys in the FRC and West of Nigeria, all those kind of stations. Ayo was one of them. The thing is that today, when you see the lives of these guys who tried to do something different, it's better. You will never see Ayo Duro Dollar. He's a millionaire, he's a big guy. Never see him complain about the regular things that we broadcasters complain about, that Chima just said we complain about. Are you getting? Because you would always find a way. Something will find you because of your creativity. But when you do lazy production, you will be where you are and retire like that for the rest of your life. Shima has done so many things with so many organizations, worked in NGO, worked in everywhere. It fits in everywhere today. But some of us, because of that, our lack of creativity, laziness to critically think and push, we are stuck where we are. So that is one very important thing, you know. And people like these are there for us any day to reach out to. Remember, I said critical thinking is also the thing that will make you look for help. It will make you identify people around you that you could reach, that you can help. They are all there. If you reach them, they will support you. They've been supporting people for a long time, but a lot of us do not reach out to them. They have family to feed also, they are busy. But these are people who are called out. That's why they logged in here. You understand? They didn't log in here just because they want to learn new thing or all that. It's because of that love for helping young people to grow. That's why they've been part of this process all this while. So reach out to them, get their contacts, you know, and they'll be able to help you wherever you are. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. So we go straight to the messages. We've been getting some insightful messages from what we've been discussing so far. And part of the people who have said something concerning this is from Ayo Durudola. Ayo Durudola said, or he says, mind mapping, and he gave the thumbs up. Then we also have Holy Princess saying, thank you, Ayo. We also have Ruben Chianumba, who said, I really found this training and interaction very educating and interesting. I want to commend the organizers for valuable use of time. From a program perspective, I will agree with the presenter that creativity is broadened by real life experiences. Well done to you all. I learned a lot. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Ruben. And also, I have Jude Oyedikachi, who says, it has been a very insightful moment. Thanks. Keep the conversation coming, the comments more. We would appreciate that, and really appreciate everyone who have been online today, and also those who have been here physically. At this stage, we would like to have Dr. Aro to give his final appreciation to everyone. Doctor, sir, would like you to give your final closing remarks on this. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. I want to appreciate everybody that came out today. This is our first for the year, first after a long time. We stopped it because Jackson stopped doing his work as webinar coordinator, and we're in the Kleverest Scenta WhatsApp group, behind the scenes WhatsApp group. It's all about trends, all about media development. Nothing else happens there. Both groups have almost 1,000 members, and they are disciplined. They don't post anything there. If you want to be a part of the group, you send a WhatsApp to the number there, 09089009,000. That's the Kleverest Scenta number. You'll be added to the WhatsApp group. Now, everything done there is give back to society. I'm not the only one. There are so many people who have been over time sharing and trying to help people. But it's usually sad when you post, because I was expecting some people physically, I didn't want crowd, so I didn't post it outside the group, or the admin didn't post it outside the group early enough. We just posted it in the group first, and then some other few groups here and there to limit crowd coming here. But yet, we have just how many people that logged in from groups that have about 2,000 people. And that's the bane of it. As a broadcaster, you must strive for training. You all complain that your stations don't train you. The economy is bad now. They used to fly us and invite us for training in stations. They can't do that now. A lot of stations can't do that. They can't really organize trainings for you. So when you see free opportunities to train yourself, do you use it? You saw a post, you ignore it, you don't attend, you say you are busy and you want to grow. And yet you know that there are not many of these kind of things out there. So when you hear, smell anything about training, please rush there and go there. You see these elders, they've done a lot. They are still here in this. Each time you learn something. From every training activity I organize, I learned something. That's why no two sessions I do is the same. I always come out with something new, and that's the creativity. So there are people you will not want to invite for training because you know exactly what they will come and say. It's the same thing over and over again. So it's that same creativity I use from every session, from questions you ask, from people that make contributions. I learn something and I add it. For instance, I wasn't use critical thinking to train on creativity. The first time I used it was when I was training little children in Lagos, in Ajegunle, in an event organized by the local government. And my friend said he's doing training for people that he wants me to be part of it. They are not really doing trainings on any media related thing, but he would like me to train the children on something that could help them improve their creativity. And I just thought of critical thinking. And that was the one thing I trained them on. Then FRCN invited me for a training, and I had to use that to train them on creativity before this one. This is just the third one. So each day, with every experience, as I was talking to those children, as they were doing things, I started seeing how that can be used to do programs. I shared with you how my 7-year-old daughter was the one that showed me the AI in WhatsApp. I listen to them. I listen to a lot of things they do, and I get ideas from them. Okay? So go out and just be determined to build yourself. There are so many opportunities. When I was head of training in the BBC did not send me to BBC London. I don't come up for BBC before I enter Bush House. That's the truth. But I was able to develop all the training materials by myself here in Nigeria, picking from experience and things like that. There are many free training pages online. Follow those pages. Don't go and be following Sabinus. The more you follow him, the more he chops your money. Or McAngel, all of them, Aproko Doctor, you name them. Instead, follow those groups and pages where you will learn how to produce programs properly. Now, when you do that, when you now add the creativity, you will now go and do something and chase Aproko Doctor from work. Why can't your health program be the one that drops that 1 minute every day and get those likes in a creative way? Why can't it be so? Someone called me a few days ago asking me for a phone number of VDM, Very Dark Man, and Tunde Ednut. Any issue now that people used to take to broadcasters, you are now taking it to VDM and Tunde Ednut. Why can't it be you? Human Rights Radio is here in Abuja, funded by international organizations, just because one man started a program called Berkeley Family to help people with their issues. Now he has a full radio station. So think about these things. Think about the daily things we go through. As a broadcaster, what can I do creatively? How can I put it in a way that it will attract people? How can I occupy that social media space? Don't just be dancing in your studio and posting there, then radiocast. If I will now name you influential presenter, 30 influential presenter, and you'll be happy. You'll come, say, oh, I have won an award. That is entertainment award. When your creative program wins Nigeria Media Merit Award, or you go for an international fellowship, the kind that them Chima have gone to, that is when you can say that you have produced something as a broadcaster. And if you are not able to do that, resign, go to Lugbe Market and start selling tomato. And that is my message for us going forward. But you can reach us anytime with those your questions. Don't ask, say, what can you do? Show us what you're thinking. Try, critically think of something you're doing, and see how we could make it. Ruben, that is here today, who is doing sickle cell, I believe when he got that job, he never ever believed that a creative program could be done on sickle cell. It's coming out very soon, and you'll see the show coming out soon. So when you do this, the market is more than enough. Apart from Flavor that happened so many years ago, how many programs do you know of like that? Can't you think of something and pitch? When they see the traction on social media, they will come to you. The money will come. You don't need to cry that they've not paid you salary. You don't need it. I'm telling you the truth. You don't need it. Broadcasting can never really pay you. It's what comes from outside by your creativity that will pay you. So thank you very much for being part of this. And God bless all of us. Remember, send a WhatsApp message if you don't have a contact. If you are not in the group, please send it so that we connect and learn and grow together. Thank you. And I want to appreciate one of our Kleverest Scenta volunteers, Oluwa Debbie, the lady that apologized when we were having the technical issues. She just finished her youth service. She's currently doing contract stuff in NTA. It's not paying her very well. She's very hardworking. So if you know of any opening anywhere, I don't recommend people very well. I'm recommending her to you, just like I can recommend Jackson now after he has changed from being a bad boy.
Oh God, I beg.
Thank you. And thanks to Adekule Adejumo for all the work. He's been helping us run that group all these years. It's been a very huge source of motivation. And so many others. There's Queen Sisan. She couldn't be here today. And so many others. God bless all of you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. God bless you. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much. So this is how we call it a wrap up on the show. Have a wonderful and amazing weekend. I love you all. I am Jonathan Jackson on Waha. You call me Jay Jackson, the Radio Genie. Bye.